Tell me how you live this feeling all through the time and down the rain. Tell me how you live this feeling all through the time and good way. I have always been your vegetable. You might see it more. I would drive myself through black holes to end up at your door. There's no one else to get home about. There's nothing else makes you twist. Good morning, evening, or oh dear, that is not doing something good. Is that going to work? Okay. Apparently something's going on with my screen. Okay. I hope you're all well, wherever you are. I'm Cryptomeria. I'm an artist out of British Columbia, beautiful Victoria. And I usually do AI art like you just saw. And I have a blog with different little news clips and stuff, you know. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. A lot to do with Canadian politics. If you're easily offended, please leave my channel right now because you will not have fun. Sorry, I'll send you some bubble wrap, okay? You know, I just out of, you know. So I'm gonna pull up my blog. I have, oh God, I know this is like, we have Happy Gilmore. Yeah. Because of course she has to weigh in on Daniel Smith, and it is just, I actually blocked her off of YouTube. I was like, yeah, you're an idiot. Like, sorry, you, like, she's the worst. You know, like, she basically got kickbacks for promoting the jab. So like, basically almost like a year's worth of rent, you know, just to be a Trudeau shill. And I'm going to pull up my blog. And I'm going to need food. My little tummy's rumbling. Ugh. And I tried a new art program, and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing because it's never done this before. And sometimes they'll like tweak something in one of them, and like, I shouldn't have a watermark on them. But now I'm not sure how to fix the watermark, or like, I might just like cut off like half the image for the animation, you know. It'll come together. And I'm not sure if I am on Rumble right now. Sometimes it's glitchy. And I kind of like, I'm just going to stick to my blog. Hopefully I don't get too many copyright strikes on YouTube. It doesn't matter on X. Like I almost prefer streaming there, even if I'm shadow banned. Yeah, see, and I was watching a video. Yeah, it's like an inappropriate prompt, which is just my website. Usually it's like, okay, whatever. This was hilarious.
Speaking of muzzling people, we do have the finance minister of our country, Chrystia Freeland, on with us. Chrystia, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How is the family these days?
Hi, thank you so much for having me on your show. Everybody's doing great. We canceled Disney Plus recently, so we've been saving a lot of money and really just, fitting in with the rest of the middle class in the country. It's been great.
How does it feel to be normal now that you've canceled your Disney Plus?
It's a real struggle. When I'm at Whole Foods, I look at the prices. It doesn't really impact my spending habits because I'm worth millions of dollars, but it really does shock me sometimes, the prices that you see at the grocery store. And yeah, my church has a food bank. It's just horrible what you see in this country right now.
Gee, and are you donating to the food bank actively, or is that something you're just letting the church take care of?
That's really, I am very busy, focused on climate change and saving the country and the globe as a whole. And I don't really have time to help out with food banks, but we definitely have a great system in my church. And I like to talk about it because I need people to know that I go to church and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
And I do have to say, Chrystia, it's so great that you were able to take time with knowing how busy you are and knowing how you've been giving press conferences recently, too. I thought it was incredible that Justin Trudeau was so willing to cowardly run away and give you the mic to really discuss the latest ruling coming out of the Supreme Court of Canada. What are your thoughts on that? I know you have said that you wanted to challenge it, but I was wondering if you could maybe give us more detail.
Well, I'd like to start by saying I absolutely respect the Canadian judicial system. But what I really mean by that is that I have no respect for the Canadian judicial system and to appeal the result. Good. There is no way that we will allow this decision to be upheld.
She actually really sounds like her.
Nothing
she does stuff to end with
peaceful
John
protests. Let me be clear.
Yeah. Do you think that you would even go as far as freeze the bank accounts of those Supreme Court justices, maybe?
I'll freeze any bank account that I have to. I practice freezing bank accounts every day.
Oh, gee.
I'm ready.
All set. I guess speaking of being ready to seize funds that aren't yours,
she just needs to go a little more twitchy, but she's
really come as an advocate for the new digital sales tax, and which you're pretty much set for really any tax because you're taking money that's not yours. What was the difference in the DST versus the HST? You know that the HST exists, right? That you're already taxing 15% for people.
Thank you for your question. Let me be clear. I will have an ST on every letter of the alphabet by the time I'm done with this place. We will have to start creating new letters for our alphabet just so that I can make more sales tax to put on the end of them. I promise you that.
Gee, wow, you're really sticking to your guns here, and that's, I'm guessing the goal is because you really want to give back to the people of Canada. Is that correct?
Really good.
Of course, always. Anything to generate
it's just
revenue.
Freeland is so intolerable. It's like, even though she's really good, it's just like, I don't want to see this.
My focus is always on supporting the middle class, and the way that we do that is tax them more and more. That is the only way that they can thrive.
And I mean, honestly, I have to respect that tenacity and that dedication to the taxes that you have listed out there, and to actually add more alphabet to have more tax. I mean, I couldn't have said it myself.
I think that's
that
a great plan.
Really, really well said, and I think that you're completely right.
Because budgets need to balance themselves.
Absolutely.
So
Yes,
all
I'm
these
glad
extra
that we
letters.
agree. I'm glad that we agree on that.
Gee, wow, you're really on it today. We'll kind of finish off with this question: what is your favorite electric vehicle?
That's a great question. And I would really have to say that I am in full support of every electric vehicle on the market, with the exception of Tesla. I do not support Tesla. I do not support Elon Musk. He is a threat to democracy. He is a threat to free speech. He is a threat to the entire world. And all I can say is electric vehicles are the most important thing right now in the country, as long as you don't buy a Tesla.
Got it. So I'll kind of follow up with this question then: do you prefer your cobalt mined by Indonesian children or Congolese children?
You know, it really doesn't matter to me. I think they're both great. I think that Canadian children could really learn a lesson in hard work. And I would love to see Canadian children mining cobalt. I think that it would be a great revenue generator. I absolutely would love to see Canadian children working harder instead of, playing on playgrounds.
Or watching Disney Plus.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I guess my last question for you, Chrissy, is, there's been a lot of calls for Justin Trudeau to step down. Do you think that you'd be ready to take the helm and step in his place if that was to happen?
Please, God, please, Jesus, no.
You know what? I truly believe that there is no better leader than Justin Trudeau. The only way that I would step in as a leader is if my chosen leader chose me. And in that case, it would be an honor.
Well, thank you so much for that. That was insightful.
Creepy.
Actually, speaking of, there was something that kind of came on the whim this week, which is very recent. I actually want to get the question out for you. There's been murmurs of your party, Justin Trudeau, working with Jagmeet Singh of the NDP party, trying to change
Freeland
up some
does
election
that
laws.
when she's nervous.
What's your take on that? What do you want to see happen there?
Look, that's a
This
great
is like
question,
really good character
and that's
study.
definitely a question that Canadians would like the answer to. Let me start by saying all good systems need an update once in a while. We need to ensure that they're still doing exactly what the Liberal Party needs them to do, and that is win elections. And whatever we need to do, even if that means making new rules, we will do it. We cannot let the Conservatives ruin our plans for a green economy.
All right.
Was I crystal clear on that?
Very crystal clear that you want to make sure that the election system favors you, is what I understood.
You were Chrissy clear.
Yes, of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out for us lowly people. Giving you so generously to us really means the world. Thank you so much for this time.
Well, I need you guys to spread my propaganda, so I appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Oh, that was ruthless. That was beautiful. That was worth it. Checkers!
All new tonight, that's the border convoy that rolled through southeast Texas Wednesday. It's near its destination in Eagle Pass tonight. The group moved through San Antonio today, and they're calling for more protections at the border. Good evening, Southeast Texas. I'm Brenda Matuti. Tomorrow, the group plans to hold a rally in Eagle Pass. Ahead of their visit, though, people living in that area are hosting their own press conference expressing how they disapprove of that convoy.
Certain groups claiming to be an army of God are coming to our community to spread hate.
Wouldn't you be more concerned about the border? I don't know,
I'm troubled
the
by
fentanyl and the human trafficking. I don't know.
12 News did catch up with the convoy as they passed through Southeast Texas.
That's my opinion.
One organizer had to say.
There's been all kinds of stuff that this is an armed insurrection and that people are going down to the border to start a fight and all that, and it's totally incorrect and it's complete and utter nonsense. Y'all going down to the border to pray. It's that simple, and that's what it's about.
Amen.
The convoy's passing through just days before Governor Greg Abbott is scheduled to arrive in Eagle Pass himself. The governor plans to announce new border security plans. 14 other Republican governors plan to join him.
See, I don't like this little watermark. So I might try and either just crop it out or... Okay, we're not going to watch that one. I think that was staged. I think that was absolutely staged, but at least the kids are, oh God, this is incredible. This is
a new viral ad hits Facebook questioning.
Just to be clear, this is satire, but the way they are structuring, this is a bizarre one. I would love to see, this is bizarre. It's really bizarre.
Many parents as to why YouTube is taking money to promote assisted death for children. Especially with the new rules changing in Canada, people have the right to have questions, but we have the answers here. Let's get into it. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Usually I try to get videos out in a normal Monday to Friday range, and then sometimes an extra little nugget happens to drop, and it's just too good to not talk about. This, again, is one of my top concerns when it comes to why I'm even on this platform. It's many times on this channel we talk about politics, we talk about people's ability to pay their bills, taxes, scandals within the government. One of the biggest scandals that I think, and one of the reasons that I prefer to be on this platform to try and push for any kind of change, is the toll that lockdowns, that medical assistance in death has pushed onto people, that there's no other answer. And I believe, again, that there is an answer, and the path that the government is taking when it comes to how easy it is to simply turn your back on your life is astounding. But I wanted to get into this viral ad today. It was sent to me early this morning, and it sparked outrage. I actually tweeted out Team YouTube saying, why would you allow this kind of an ad to be on the platform? Now, I am going to warn people. There is some graphic things being discussed here.
YouTube has some creepy ads up.
I usually try to keep my videos friendly, even though, again, I don't encourage politics around kids. But for language, for things like that, I try not to go overboard.
But
there is some things being suggested in this video, as well as some language.
I mean,
so
obviously,
your children around, if they can hear the audio, my advice
is disturbing.
Is
it's funny, but it's
maybe watch
not
the video
funny,
a little bit later.
Funny,
but I digress. I'm going to show this ad, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what this is. Because I can tell you right now, I was outraged. And then looking into a little bit more, Well, we'll get into that, but let's just play the ad. I will apologize for the audio. There is a better version of this on the website that I'm going to show afterwards. I won't go through the ad again, but I wanted to show the context because here is the problem, and I wanted to show the way that it's laid out on YouTube and why the controversy is being caused. Let's take a look at the ad.
Losing every way, looking like a little skeleton if things don't improve. And if you're approved, take a little shot and then the pain's removed. You're so made to pass away. Today it's our day to pass away.
This is like an ad that came on in the middle of the video I'm watching on YouTube. Like I have no fucking clue what I'm like.
Oh, there's some real disturbing ads on YouTube. You know, one, it was just there. This isn't even like the tip of the iceberg for some of these.
The website ends with this very alarming ad. Keep in mind, this is a sponsored ad on YouTube. TerminalWellness.com. So I want to get into this because I'm sure everybody who watched this video all of a sudden is going, what the actual hell is this on YouTube? Keep in mind that the way that this is set up. Now, if you've ever heard of, which you probably haven't because it was a very underground show that was on MTV in the early 2000s, there was a show called Wonder Chosen, and it was essentially a parody of Sesame Street where you had adult
Oh my God, I
themes,
remember that.
like
I
drugs
remember
and
that
crime
show.
and different situations
It was
around
weird.
puppets and children.
It was
That really pushed the boundaries at the time. It was a rated mature show, very, very edgy, I'll say. Now, that show came out in the early 2000s, and we haven't seen anything like it since. But when you go to TerminalWellness.com, of course, it shows Terminal Wellness, and as you scroll down, there's an actual trailer by the looks of it for Terminal Wellness.
Yeah, like
it shows here genre,
it's
dark
satire,
romantic comedy,
but it's
an adequately unbalanced
Sponsored?
balanced blend of absurdist satire and existential humor wrapped up in a dark romance. So it's an Indiegogo campaign for some kind of movie, I guess, or something that
but you need to be
people are
clear
wanting to put
with
together,
some of this.
that's humoristic. But when you look at this ad, the concern
And
that
I mean,
have
I
is
would
that
look at that. I
there's
would,
nothing
you know,
in this ad that stipulates that this is satirical, that this is
yeah,
parody.
yeah.
Again, as somebody who works in this realm, I put out political satire books
Like-
that are made for adults, drawn for children, that make fun of Justin Trudeau, that make fun of politics. And a lot of people, a lot of the time, come to me saying, hey, you're indoctrinating kids. These are kids' books. I've made it very clear on a very regular basis, including with our warnings at the beginning of our books that are
This is
disclaimers, I guess,
adult
that
stuff.
these are for adults. This does nothing.
We're still kids at heart, but
And maybe that was the idea, but it does nothing to set up that this is for children. So my concern, though, with this ad and ads like this is that this is relevant in Canada today. This is something we see a lot of in Canada today.
It is satire,
And honestly,
very
the
dark
first time I seen this
satire,
ad, it didn't
but
surprise me that this is what is being
a
shown
lot of people
around
don't want to be
the internet,
exposed
people
to
freaking
ads
out. And I
like
know that was the
this.
design
Like,
of this ad.
we'll look
but
at a
the
video
problem
like
with
this
YouTube,
because
I
it's
can
satire,
honestly say I don't
but
want my children on YouTube. I
to
don't allow my
have
kids, even
it
kids YouTube.
thrown at you,
There's times where, even though that's
you know,
supposedly curated content,
especially if this isn't
content
even
gets
the
through on that
creepiest
app to
ad I've
kids.
seen on YouTube.
Of
This
course,
is I pay
my
for
kids are reaching
premium.
10 years of age.
Just
they'll sneak on. All their friends watch YouTube. They want to get on YouTube. So anytime I've caught them sneaking onto the platform, I certainly don't barrel down on them for doing so. I question why they did it without, talking to an adult. But usually I'll sit there and I'll try to watch the content they're watching. Usually it's Minecraft videos or something very innocent. But if they were watching YouTube and this popped up,
that's
what are children going to make of this? Again, there's no disclaimer of satire. There's no extended trailer or explanation as to what it's going, because you see this post coming in from the United Stand where it says, a friend of mine posted this last night. She was watching a YouTube video when this ad came on.
But this is
pardon my language, but what the actual
advertising.
F? Now, as you go down, of course, it says you can check out the website here. I'm still
know?
confused. Is this supposed to be some kind of parody? Either way,
I thought it was like, is this Babylon B? Like,
whoa, I couldn't agree more.
You know,
apparently
but
this
it's
is some
like
form of
sponsored.
dark comedy. It's shocking that anyone would be okay
It,
with allowing
you know,
children access
when it's sponsored,
to such material.
it's a
And
little
again,
different
kids are on
category.
YouTube. So you're promoting death in children. I mean, if you look at the synopsis, Gary Leibowitz has recently dumped unsuccessful and underachieving failed app developer who works retail at a chain sex shop where his ex-fiancée dates his boss openly. He's broke and severely depressed on countless medications, with the only support system being his friend Katie, an older, Jesus-obsessed, drug-addicted prostitute that works the customers around the store. I'm not going to read the whole thing because obviously this is trying to push boundaries to every extent. But the big problem I have with this is that we're now on the Government of Canada website. And when you look at medical assistant dying, medical assistance in dying or MAID is a complex and deeply professional issue for many Canadians. Important progress has been made in preparing for the extension of MAID eligibility for persons whose sole medical condition is a mental illness, meaning if you're depressed, if you're down in the dumps, if your teenage daughter, my boyfriend dumped me, I'm sad, I'm just going to end it all. How many times have you heard that speech from teenagers who don't know any better? They can go and get this procedure done as of March 17th when the rules change. Model practice and standard for MAID is another step that will provide clear guidance to clinicians and health support regulators, help protect those who may be vulnerable, including where the person's sole underlying medical condition is a mental illness, and ensure the safety and consistency in MAID practice across the country. It's a major problem because from my understanding of what's been discussed about MAID, this is going to be open for anybody who says, I'm clinically depressed.
Yeah, and this is wrong.
I've had enough. I'm just done.
This is wrong.
When you look at everything that's stacking up in the world right
organ
now,
harvesting.
this is population control.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to call it what it is.
Call it,
it's population control.
And organ harvesting.
The government has packaged our lifestyle to fit a certain narrative. You can't eat. You can't pay your bills. You can't live. You can't get clothing. You can't keep a job unless you do what we say. There's no getting ahead. If you get paid, we're going to take every bit of your paycheck as a result of taxes, fees, monies owed. You're going to be so dependent on us that you're done. You'll either take our assistance and do what we say, or you're done. They're encouraging this behavior. And I haven't heard a lot from the House of Commons in terms of people who are actually against this moving into a depression state diagnosis as of March 17th. As somebody who had a family member who passed away from medical assistance in death, they were given less than 2 weeks on a terminal illness, and they were already in palliative care. And it was about quality of life. And for those situations, I'm in agreement that if they are cognitive enough to choose and decide that is what they want, and that is, a short timeline like that, and they'd rather have no pain. And thank God we blocked it for kids. In my personal opinion, I believe that is warranted.
We won the battle,
it all depends
not
on your
the war.
religion. It depends on your beliefs. It depends on how you as a person feel. And much like any medical procedure, I would highly advise people go talk to your local physician, talk to somebody you trust, talk to your spouse, figure out what you want for you and what works best for you.
But this shouldn't be for kids.
This is appalling. The fact that YouTube allows this ad on its channel without any context is deeply disturbing.
Because I mean,
I'm not aware if YouTube is aware of what this project is.
Like it's satire, obviously, but it is.
I mean, I'm not going to rule it out of the realm of possibilities. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments.
If I get a strike for playing like 30 seconds of a song,
I usually get answers back from them very quickly.
And I'm in jail for a week.
Usually on the ball with these things, and they didn't answer me within about 6 hours of the tweet today. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Or if they're looking into
it's just the fact that
or what their stance is on this.
If there was a context to it,
Twitter,
like
share that video out.
Like if they had a watermark of their company.
Raise some questions about it. These are the times where we need to be saying this kind of stuff needs to be taken away from the watchful eyes of children or adults who, again, as you can see by that ad, aren't even aware of what this is trying to promote,
and a lot of people
what it's trying to
can't afford premium or don't pay for it. So
let me know again what you guys think down below in the comments. Please, please, please do the usual YouTube stuff. Again, this is going to get severely pushed down in the algorithm. You know that they don't like us talking about these things, especially medical conditions. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. The thumbs up really helps us in the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel, I hope this video has earned
my
your
spidey sense is telling me a strike is coming on, and it's not because I
can't even talk. I'm tongue-tied from this content. As you're clicking that button, make sure to hit your bell for notifications and join us live here on the channel every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time here over on The Fringe, where we do our weekly wrap and we go over everything that's happened in this current week, everything coming up in the week ahead, and a little bit of back and forth with the community. And I'm sure we'll be discussing this on this Sunday's show. I look forward to each and every one of you coming out to that live stream.
He had an excellent stream last night with Tamara Lynch.
Despite the downward,
it was, and she's so tiny. It was so cute.
And, I'll catch you on the next one.
Now this is a sad one. Just about the story was about how just their brother coming out. And it's actually really sad. I don't want to read all of it. Actually, I might. Let's see. It always screws up. Is it going to load? It's not loading. I'm just going to go on to the next one. I might read it later. I might read it after Rachel Gilmore. Because, oh man. This chick is an idiot. Why is this not loading? Sorry. Let's just fix this because this is not working. No, you pause. You pause. I'll just shift in between some screens quickly. There we go. See? All working.
I'm Kat Canada. I'm from British Columbia, and I firmly stand with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and her policy that will protect minors from making irreversible surgical and hormonal decisions. And I hope you do the same. Pass it on.
Amen.
I'm Kat Canada. I'm from British Columbia, and I firmly stand with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and her policy that will protect minors from making irreversible.
I'm going to pull up the other one. And I'll read it out just because I want to get some context before I pull up Happy Gilmore. Just because and also just a cringe warning when I pull up her YouTube video. It's like, I'm sorry, hun, it's not TikTok. You're it's just I can't believe, sorry. It's just weird. She's weird. She's just corrupt. She got paid money. And I'll read this out. In 2016, on his 16th birthday, my brother came out as trans less than a month later, our mom was dead from cancer, and he went to live with our aunt and uncle, who were in their 50s and childless. My aunt and uncle were completely clueless how to deal with a 16-year-old, let alone one claiming they are transgender. They did the best they could, following the lead of professionals. At 16, with the consent of his new guardians and doctor, my brother was referred to a top pediatric psychologist in Calgary, and they affirmed his gender dysphoria. And within a short amount of time, he was referred to an endocrinologist who prescribed blockers and estrogen. The whole family accepted his new identity. He changed his name, ID, birth certificate, and passport to female. At 18, he was approved for bottom surgery, but he never went through it, thank God. At 20 years old, he had a psychotic episode. He destroyed property. The cops are called. He went to the psych ward for a month and was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. At 21, he was homeless. At 22, I took my mentally ill, psychotic, transgender brother into my home at great risk to me and my young family. I got him a job that he was fired from on his fourth. I tried to get him to go to therapy. He refused. Then one day, still presenting as a woman, my brother retreated to the spare room in my basement, and I didn't see him for 3 weeks. He didn't shower. He would only come out when we're all sleeping to raid the fridge and pantry and communicate with me through text. Finally, I had enough. I worked up the courage to confront him, and when I did, he had a full-on beard and was no longer feminizing his voice. He turned back into a man. At 22 years old, pretty close to 25, when his brain would have been fully developed, my brother came to his senses and realized he was not a woman, but a gay man. Why am I telling you this? To highlight how the new transgender legislation proposed wouldn't have saved my baby brother from his current state. He was 16. He had consent from his very ignorant guardians and his family doctor. The psychiatrist affirmed his gender dysphoria. They did not treat it. The endocrinologist assumed the psychiatrist and family doctor were doing their job correctly, warning him once it could leave him sterile, and then the prescribed blockers and cross-sex hormones. What if he had gone one step further and went through with the bottom surgery? I know what would have happened. He would have told me he would have killed himself if he had done that. You know what would have saved my brother from his current living hell? Treating, not affirming, his gender dysphoria. When our medical professionals decide to do that, all of this madness will end. 15 years between these photos, I have no idea where my brother currently is. And that's sad. But we're pushing all these surgeries and everything, yeah, we're paying for this as taxpayers, It's, and I'm all for adults. If you want to do this, that's fine. But then you can pay for my dental, my breast implants, all the nips and tucks I want to get if I'm paying for yours. And I definitely do not like having kids, lured into a death trap of big pharma. That's what it is. It's like creating patients. And, I'd be all for it, but we protect kids like Alberta has a fair model for going forward with all of these policies, and that one was so sad, But then we have, on the other hand, Happy Gilmore. Here's a
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith just claimed to care about trans Albertans while simultaneously announcing policy changes that research suggests will lead more trans kids.
Danielle Smith said that she was going to bring in a special doctor because right now we don't have enough doctors in Canada, so people have to go to Quebec. So she's trying to bring in one so Albertans don't have to leave the province. How is that discriminatory? It's just hands off the kids. And the fact that Rachel Gilmore is promoting this is disturbing. Are you a groomer? What's your problem?
It's to attempt to unalive themselves. Here's what's going on. Danielle Smith, born Marlena Danielle Smith, who goes by her preferred name, introduced what LGBTQ rights advocates called draconian measures yesterday. The new policy will require, among other things, parental notification and consent for students under 15 who want to change their names or pronouns in school. Interesting policy, Marlena. And they'll also notify parents of 16 or 17-year-olds who use different names or pronouns at school. Which means if your parents aren't accepting and you're under 18 in Alberta, you're either stuck in the closet or forcibly outed. And that can be very dangerous. Having pronouns respected, access to an LGBTQ affirming space, and access to gender affirming care has been proven to reduce the risk of trans youth attempting to unalive themselves. So based on research, all teenagers you can imagine are the kind of impact these policies can have on trans lives. Because the province will also ban puberty blockers and hormones for anyone under 15, which Smith attributed to her desire to make sure kids aren't making irreversible changes to their bodies, which seems to ignore the fact that while puberty blockers are reversible, puberty itself is not. She also said top and bottom surgery will be banned for those under 18.
They aren't.
Despite the fact that for bottom surgery, that's already the law.
It's chemical castration. It's the same thing
rule breakers will
they
be punished,
use
like
to
those traveling out of
chemically
province to receive gender affirming care, or teachers using a student's preferred pronoun.
She should do some research first.
Now, I know this is a lot, but to the trans kids who are scared right now, I have two things to tell you. First, a lawyer I spoke with, Douglas Judson, told me there is a, quote, strong possibility this policy will be struck down in court as, quote, an unjustifiable breach of the charter rights of trans and gender diverse young people. So Alberta could then turn around and set a dangerous precedent, as Saskatchewan has, by invoking the notwithstanding clause. There are also advocates like Faye Johnston mobilizing against this.
Why is this is so gross? Why is she?
Families get between parents, young people, and their physicians, and accessing medically necessary health services, and they're going to deny a whole generation of young people access to the comprehensive sexuality education.
I don't want my taxes to go.
She also made a promise to trans youth.
We will not let this stand. We will fight her every step of the way.
What do you think of all this?
I think she's a fucking idiot. That's what I think. She's just bad.
There seems to be this really weird flex going around in my comment section where line cooks and chefs will make fun of me for only doing a few orders at a time, and they'll share their experience with working on hundreds of orders a night and doing 20 or more at a time. Yeah, nothing beats breaking your back working 60 hours a week so that you can line the pockets of the restaurant owner and still struggle to make monthly payments on your mortgage and contribute to your 401k. Yeah, you enjoy your retirement, living off government assistance and never being able to cook again because you developed arthritis by the time you were 45. Look, let me be clear. I'm not trying to be disrespectful,
I get that.
But rather,
it's not
I just
fun.
want to make you
it's
aware
making
that
me sick.
overworking yourself is not a flex. It can be very stressful, working busy nights, cooking for hundreds of people, and it is not sustainable for your entire career. Don't trick yourself into thinking you're special because you can work harder than you should have to.
Oh my god, those burgers look so good. That one turned out good. I think I can blend. If I crop it, I'll still retain. I just don't get why I'm getting a watermark. It should be. I shouldn't have it because Like, I thought that one I had the professional edition, but
let's talk.
They might have
about,
jumped up the prices.
The attack, the manhunt that's underway. It's 3 days now since that attack, in which 9 people were injured,
so
5 police officers,
insane.
members of the public, and the mother and 2 daughters. Now, we believe she has very serious injuries. Thankfully, the 2 daughters' injuries
there is a
aren't as
connection
serious
between
as
the
first
assailant
Which is astonishing
and the
when you think
victim.
about it, because the video, the CCTV video that we saw of the attack shows a man, the suspect, apparently throwing one of the children repeatedly onto the ground, picking her up again and then throwing her back on the ground. And my fear was that it may not be the corrosive substance that will have hurt her so much as being so terribly cruelly treated.
Yeah.
You'd think she'd have sustained broken bones, but apparently the latest medical news is that the 2 children are not as badly injured as was first feared, but the mum really and truly is.
Yeah, but anyway, what happens in terms of this ongoing search? Let's talk to former Met Police Detective Chief Superintendent Kevin Hurley, who joins us now. Good to see you this morning, Kevin. It seems remarkable that there have been lots of sightings of this man on the tube and other places, lots of CCTV in London, but we still haven't got him.
Yeah, I mean, the fear must be that he has either gone into hiding or is being hidden by friends or relatives, or alternatively, he's killed himself. Because where he comes from, culturally, because I've worked in Afghanistan, a couple of tours in Kabul, the view of some elements of the Afghan community is that women are lesser mortals than dogs.
Yeah.
So if he's with a group of Afghans who think he's quite
Good
rightly
times.
punished, but potentially someone who was in a relationship, they will almost see nothing wrong with what he's done. So he could be being hidden there. Or alternatively, he's taken his own life. And in which case, it's going to be difficult to find him. It all comes down to you, the media, you're doing a great job keeping up interest in this shocking crime, because it will be the public who will spot him, because he can't hide very well with that big burn mark. It appears to be a burn mark on the side of his face. And if I say one thing, is if that's what he's done to himself, imagine what the poor mother of his children look like, if they are children, who's been the victim of that. So I really would encourage people to come forward and say, have you seen someone who looks like him?
Well, allegedly.
That one was a crazy one. But attacks like that are pretty common in the UK, unfortunately. Yeah, this one is like...
Dan and Jennifer, appreciate you joining me today. Now, you are involved in a lawsuit against the Rockford Public Schools out in Michigan over pronoun usage surrounding your daughter. Dan, can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, while we were working with this school closely to address her academic needs in regards to her autism, it came to our attention that the school was actively deceiving and hiding from us the fact that they were transitioning our daughter from being a girl to a boy, using a boy's name and pronouns. And this came to our attention by paperwork that they had given me, and one of the school employees had inadvertently forgotten to change one of those male names and pronouns.
Like, this should be illegal.
Jennifer, when you discovered this, and again, you discovered
this
it
is
by
why
accident,
I'm proud
it
of
sounds
Alberta
like,
for standing
what was
up
going
against
through your
this.
At first I was like, they must have somebody else's child's information in here. This was clearly an error, is my first thought. And so we ended up emailing this specific staff member, asking them
This is creepy.
if this was an error. And then when we didn't receive a response back
this
from
is
them,
creepy.
which I
Like,
thought was
adults shouldn't be doing this with your kids.
We started to kind of dig a little bit more and say,
these
well, why
parents
would they
seem
not
like, yes, they're
respond
very
to an
Christian,
email
but they
or
would
important
accept her
information like
if
this?
she wanted to go to
once we found
him.
out
But
what
this
was
seems
really
like
happening,
grooming.
Clearly, I was just
It's
in
like,
shock.
I'll be your special
Disbelief.
friend and keep your secret.
Dan,
You
I
can
imagine at
trust
that
me.
point, once you
Like,
found out, you started to
I'll be your
dialogue with
special-
the school,
it's
ask
gross.
them perhaps not to do
It's
what they were
wrong.
doing. What were those
We used to
conversations
protect
like? What
kids
happened next?
against this.
Well, actually, kind of roll that back as we were trying to decide what our next step would be, because we started putting some things together. We're going, I think might be what's going on. How do we want to handle this with the school? Later that same
this
week,
is grooming.
Jennifer
it's
found
disturbing.
in our
There's a
daughter's
difference
backpack a book that had been given to her by the school counselor from the school counselor's personal library that our daughter was kind of hiding from us. And that book contained a story about a homosexual boy and a confused boy, and the homosexual boy trying to kind of coerce the boy into a relationship with him, very explicit. And so when we found that, it was kind of like, all right, we got to pull her immediately. After which then we had a meeting with the school principal thinking, I wonder if he even knows. Does it, how broadly is this going on in the school? And so as we spoke with him, it came to our attention just quickly that he said to
disturbing.
us, look, you have to understand, this is the school policy. We're mandated to do this. The desires of the children outweigh those of the parents. And there's not a whole lot
they can pick up a gun for their country and
so
pay taxes.
You might have just saw alarm on my face with that last statement, right? Because
they would
that's
be
what
great
this
in
is
the
really
army with all that
about for parents and
osteoporosis they're
parental
going to get
rights.
for not
Kate, I
having
want to come
puberty.
to you on this
but
for a moment because some people might not be aware of this, but this is the policy in some districts, and we're seeing it in some states, that parents are not notified when a child, and I want to emphasize child, has a request to be named by another name, the opposite sex. Can you take us through how pervasive is this issue and why should parents be concerned?
Exactly.
These policies have become very pervasive throughout a number of states just across.
I think it's disturbing because it is taking the power away from parents and putting them in strangers' hands. And didn't we always used to teach our kids stranger danger, all those kind of good, like, you don't do this, but unfortunately, this is why I do agree. I think Danielle Smith is trying to be very fair. I think Rachel Gilmore is just a media whore who will say anything for $1. Like I was sort of like, wow, she's actually working for a truth or like something. I pulled it up, but oh God, it's like she did so much damage to news media, and global news let it happen. And I'm glad they finally fired her, because when I watched that, I was like, she doesn't even know what she's saying. Like, it's all social virtue for the almighty dollar. And, I tried to be nice and polite when she got fired, but after seeing that, it's like, no, you're a fucking moron. Like, really?
Across the country, these policies
Parents
where the
have
school district
rights.
says that if a student raises confusion about
We
their
need
gender
to protect
identity,
them.
the school should jump into action and change that child's names, their pronouns, and not tell their parents. And then
This
you have
is
situations
wrong.
where they're actively hiding that information from
Yeah.
parents, like they were with the Meads. They were actually erasing the male name and male pronouns on documents and replacing it with their daughter's real name.
Like, if your kid was on drugs, you would kind of want the school to let you know, or if they were, engaging in any kind of bad behavior. But this is actually completely different because this is a school, like, basically, manipulating this young woman into, who would probably just be a tomboy, and what is going on with schools? This is why we need this legislation that Danielle Smith is putting in. Because we used to protect kids.
And her female pronouns, anything that they were sending home to the parents to actively deceive them.
This is disturbing.
This violates the Constitution.
We're going to keep little
parents
secrets
have
for you.
The right to direct the upbringing and education
This
of
is
their
wrong.
kids. But the reason for that is that kids need their parents to walk alongside them when they're dealing with these kinds of issues. Parents know their kids best. They want what's best for them, and they need to be involved. A school should never hide information from parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that brings me back to you, Jennifer, on, and feel free to share as much as you're comfortable. I don't want to push people to share too much, but how did this affect your relationship with your daughter as this was going on, even once you discovered it? What are some of the parameters maybe and barriers that were put up because of it?
That's interesting that you asked that, because I was looking back, just trying to wrap my head around everything and seeing if there's anything that we could have missed. Did I get upset about it?
Aw, poor mommy.
We have always told our children that no matter what,
like, this
whether
is
we
hard.
agree or disagree with
but
them, we
kids
love
are
them
so
no
easily
matter
led.
what, and we will always love them. And if anybody in the world, we are there for them. They can trust us. We are
like, obviously, if their daughter came out to them, they would have accepted her.
I think that relationship sort of changed for a little while. I could sense some turmoil
would have
in
accepted her.
And I
you
knew
can
there
tell
was
by the way they talk.
Her anxiety was
they
through
just
the roof.
want the best for
she
her.
was depressed
but
most days.
This was manipulation
she didn't want to go to school. Or I
bad
would get
school
a call
counselor,
in the afternoon that she needed
I wouldn't
me to
be
come
surprised
pick her
if
up. So I
there
knew
was
that there was
a
something
little
going
bad
on, and we were
touching
working
or
with the school
something.
counselor very closely to come up with a plan for her.
This one,
I was sharing personal information about what was going on within our family dynamic as well, and I thought that we were being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I will tell you, our daughter, she knows who she is. She is no longer confused. She knows that we love her. She knows that she can always come to us for everything. She is thriving. Her grades are up. She is happy. She's like a different child now. And it's wonderful that we've got her back.
Yay.
That is wonderful. I know this is hard to talk about because it's so personal, and that brings me to you, Dan, on just the decision to sue over this. A lot of people find themselves in these positions, and they might say, "I don't want to deal with the backlash," because I would assume once you go public, a lot of people support, and a lot of people have opinions on the other side of it. What has led you, Dan, to say, "No, we want to take action here. We want to right this wrong"?
Yeah.
Well, when we left that meeting with the principal, all that I could get through the thought that just kept coming back to me was, what if we just go away quietly and don't do anything, don't say anything? How many other parents have done this before us? And that even doesn't matter. How many are going to come after us? And if I ever had to look at another father or mother,
because it takes away all children's rights.
Oh yeah, that happened to us too, but we didn't do anything about it.
By allowing this,
I don't know how I could handle that, and so I just said to Jennifer, I've got to figure out a way.
And I'm sorry, but
make this right.
The trans kids are such a small little group
other children,
but
other parents.
We are putting this grooming issue, ahead of all kids.
Or what
we are
really
allowing
is that they lie
bad
to us,
things like 50-year-old men to swim with little girls and go into their change rooms.
This
you know,
issue, a lot of people
they
want
have
to
more
make
rights.
It about the very particular.
This needs to stop.
Oh, your problem is just with
and
the boy names and the boy pronouns, and you're making a big, a mountain out of a molehill. That just happened to be the catalyst that set us off of saying,
well, what's the next
you don't get to lie about anything.
Right.
This is what you chose to lie to us about, but you don't get to lie to the parents about anything. You don't get to withhold information, change documents, none of that stuff.
That's disturbing.
No. Not only lying to you, but also when these sorts of incidents unfold, you're essentially teaching a child that it's okay to lie to their parents. I mean, you're essentially stepping in and saying, not only is it okay to lie, we will help you do it, right? And so I think that element of the story often gets...
whenever I hear these stories, I keep thinking of Pinocchio, where they go off to the island because it seems like a lot of fun. And then he almost turns into a donkey, but... I think there's a good metaphor in there. Like, it's a good parable because I feel like it is like this seems all it seems all magical and wonderful and this will fix your life, and it won't. And the fact that if people don't stand up like Daniel Smith, it's going to impact all kids. And leave it open for predators, pedophiles, groomers to exploit your children. And this isn't what I stood up for LGBTQ. It used to just be a few letters. Now it's like the whole fucking alphabet. I almost can we just call each other fags again? Like that was easier. Oh God, I'm going to get a strike for saying the F word. But no, this is disturbing.
It's lost in the conversation that, and we've heard the teachers out in
people
California,
who are endorsing
in the Marabelli
this
case talk about that as educators not wanting to be
starting
put in
to
a
get
position
concerned
of having
about
to lie. And I think
why
that's
do you
important
want to talk to
discuss
kids
here. Kate,
and be their special friend and think that kids can keep secrets
in this particular instance
with adults?
We want parental
I'm
rights
getting
to be
more
respected.
disturbed
Just
about
as
the
Dan
people
was talking
who
about,
aren't
parents
speaking
need
up about this.
information from the schools
And
about
like
what's going
Rachel
on, and the
Gilmore
school should never
saying,
be lying to parents,
okay,
changing
she's a
documents,
dumb
hiding information,
social
instructing
virtuing
kids to lie to their
bitch,
parents and driving
but
that
it's
kind of a
endorsing
wedge
grooming
between parents and their
and
kids.
pedophilia.
On an issue like gender identity,
You
that's
do
a very
not
difficult
let
and challenging issue
other
for kids to work
adults
through, and they
talk
need
to
their
your
parents.
kids
So it
like
highlights
this.
the problem in that
And you do
context, but it goes
definitely
beyond
not
it.
let a
We want to see the
school
court step in
falsify
and ensure that
documents.
parents can have transparency from their schools and trust that they're going to get the information they need to uphold their responsibilities to their kids to direct their upbringing and education.
And Kate, what comes next in this case in terms of where it currently stands right now?
The case is very early on. We just filed it right before Christmas, so we're waiting for a response from the district, and then we will be off in the trial court for the rest of the case.
Well, I want to thank all of you for coming on and talking about this. Again, I know it's difficult to talk about. It's tough to go public, but like you were saying, you want to make sure that you can help others who are facing similar things all over the country right now. We will continue to cover this and have you back as the details unfold.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah, like that's sad for parents to go through and have to go through this kind of litigation just because of the abuse their child suffered.
2001, this all would cost in Southern California $81. Let's go see how much it costs right now, today in 2023. Oreos, bread. Excuse me. So I got 3 bags of Lay's, 3 gallons of Horizon whole milk, 2 12-packs of soda, 2 packs of Oreos, Cocoa Pebbles, 3 pints of orange juice Tropicana, 3 packs of bacon, Wonder Bread, 3 of these, 4 cartons of eggs, and 2 DiGiorno's. Here's the other thing to keep in mind. There's also shrinkflation, so you're also getting less Oreos, less potato chips, everything smaller. Let's go see how much it costs right now, today in 2023. Here we go. Here's the final finale. $195.
Holy
so it's 2.5 times more.
They printed $10 trillion.
Holy crap.
The prices of every fixed commodity.
Holy crap. That's sort of how I feel going to the grocery store these days. It's like... And I still had leftover groundhog ones.
I might as well go ahead and check the damn comment section, because I know I done pissed some people off with this one right here, but the truth is the truth, and the truth of the matter is the problem with America is not the fact that we can't agree on shit. The problem with America is that we as a whole have become ungrateful. All right? We got this assumption. Somehow, I don't know how it got developed, that by just being born here, that we're entitled to a whole bunch of damn benefits and shit, when the reality of it is we ain't entitled to shit because we ain't worked for nothing. We ain't do nothing to deserve these damn benefits that we get. Kind of similar situation. Okay? Take a kid, grew up with a silver spoon in their damn mouth. All right? Never heard the word no. Got everything they ever wanted. And the day they graduate college, mama and daddy take away that credit card. Well, in that child's mind, he's out here or she's out here, because that's the only 2 damn options for that. He or she is out here. And they think that the way that they grew up is just how the world is, when it's not, because they ain't done nothing to deserve that lifestyle. We have become ungrateful. We live in the greatest country in the world. You know how I know we live in the greatest country in the world? Because we won't fucking leave. All right? We won't. There are people coming from all over the world. There is a fucking freeway of people right now coming across the Texas border. Or they were for a while, but we done put razor wire up. But anyway, they are coming into this country, risking their lives, their wives' lives, their children's lives, just at a chance to be in this damn nation that we're ungrateful for. Think back. Think back to your grandparents, their grandparents. Think all the way back to your forefathers that come over here because they didn't like the tyranny that was going on where they were. Do you think that they got their ass on a boat and floated for weeks across the big pond and showed up over here to raw-ass land to build a better life for them? No. They did it for us. Because it wasn't a better life for them. They had to hunt for their food. They had to grow their own food. They slept on the ground. They had to build shelters. By the time they died, it was worse than where they left. But they came over here in order to create a better life for future generations. And we as a whole have lost sight of that because we don't give a fuck about anybody in the future. All we care about is us here and now. And I am just as guilty of it as anybody else in this nation. I'm not too proud to say that I'm not. I am just as guilty as anybody in this nation because there has been times in my life that I did not give a single fuck about anybody else but me, and that's wrong. That's wrong. We won't fucking leave. Why is that, Zach? Why won't we leave? 90% of us won't even ever say, hey, I'm leaving this damn country. And the 10% of y'all that do say it are bold-faced fucking liars. Y'all little bitch asses ain't leaving neither. Y'all just like talking about shit. You're trying to get attention. You ain't going no damn where. But them people all over the nation will. All over the globe will. They'll come over here and risk their life to get in here with what we got. We did nothing to deserve the benefits that we have for living in this nation. But we're ungrateful. We, as a whole, are ungrateful. I don't know how else to put it. You want to make a change instead of just bitching about the problems? And don't get me wrong, I don't agree with all the shit going on right now either. I don't agree with hardly anything going on right now, but never in the history of Everdom, in all of Caucasianism, have I ever uttered the phrase, I'm leaving this country. Wasn't even a thought. Why? Because it ain't no better nowhere else. We forgot that. Everybody else around the world knows that. You want to change the world instead of just bitching about it? Let's start by being grateful for the fact that we are the lucky ones. We were born in this nation. We reap the benefits of the people who actually deserve these benefits.
It's well said. I see.
You want to make a change?
Yeah.
Be grateful.
It's good advice.
And it took me sitting in a deer stand for 12 hours with no cell signal and no book and nothing on my mind, but just thinking about what's really going on in this world to realize what I just told y'all.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that time.
Guess guns ain't all that bad after all. Shit.
Like, see, this is really cool art, but it's just, God, I gotta get rid of that watermark. Oh.
Hey, everybody. Marcel, January 31st, 2024. This is a fantastic
ridiculous
interview with CBC Radio Canada, our government state broadcaster of propaganda, and Andrew Scheer of the Conservative Party grilling the CBC head about the bonuses this year. What gives you the right to give everybody bonuses, and what do you stipulate bonuses are for? Are they for increased viewership, increased revenue, increased trust, or what? Let's take a look at it.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we can probably agree on some metrics that reasonable people would use to measure the success of a broadcasting corporation. Would you agree that measuring viewership or ratings is a reasonable metric to measure the success of a broadcaster?
Is one metric, so is usership.
One metric is,
yeah.
It's I would say it's an important metric when you're talking about a broadcaster. You said a few minutes ago that ad revenue was I think you used the word, a major driver of whether or not you judge success. So would ad revenue also be a reasonable measure of success for a broadcaster?
It would be one of the variables, yes.
Right, okay. So viewership, yes. Ad revenue, yes. Trust also, whether or not people can trust what they're seeing on TV, especially when you run news outlets. You would agree, I hope, that trust in media would also be a measure of success.
Absolutely.
Okay. And therefore errors would be another measure of success or failure. If there aren't a lot of errors, and that would be a good thing. If there are a lot of errors, that would be a bad thing. Would you agree on that?
Well, I actually would put a different response on error. I think error is a natural part of all journalism, and in the fact that CBC Radio Canada posts its corrections as quickly as we do is actually a demonstration of why we are trusted, unlike others who may not.
Wow.
So I would say that that's a trusted source.
Wow. So the speed with which you correct your errors is the way that you measure performance at the CBC.
It's like propaganda at mock CBC speed, guys. We put out fake propaganda, but after the damage has been done, we'll reverse and put a little correction, but we won't advertise the correction. It won't be on the front page, the correction. It won't even be on the second page.
Okay. Well, we've agreed that viewership is an important metric. We've agreed that ad revenue is an important metric. Trust as well. So fewer Canadians are watching the CBC than ever before. The viewership has plummeted to half of what it was when you became the CEO in.
Viewership has plummeted by half. That is a 50% decline since she became.
The 18 ad revenue has also crashed. In fact, it was down 31% in just 1 year, 2022 to 2023. And
ad revenue is down 37% in 1 year, 2022 to 2023, and now we're in 2024.
In media, and especially in the CBC, has also declined. The NDP talk about misinformation. The CBC has had to issue more than 100 corrections to grave errors in reporting, and that obviously has an impact on trust. So given the fact that on all these important metrics that you've agreed on, what justification do you have to issuing performance awards?
I want to correct a couple of your points, if I may, Madam Chair. First of all, the 30% drop in revenue was between an Olympics year and a non-Olympics year. And in fact, in the years you're describing, we had 2 Olympic Games. And so we have a much higher level of revenue, ad revenue during those years. So that explains the drop.
Okay, so were ad revenues in 2023 higher than in 2022?
I would say they were flat.
They're flat, okay.
Yeah, and that is, by the way.
I got to remind myself, when were the Olympics? Doctor, when was the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics? What year? Okay, so we just verified with Dr. G. Tina over here. So the Winter Olympics are in February of 2022. So 2023, no Olympics. However, 2021, there was no Olympics. It was 2020, the summer of 2020 for the Summer Olympics. So in comparison, so how did the revenue increase from then into then?
Very much part of what's going on in the industry. Television is in decline, not just at CBC, at CTV and global. Television is in decline, and people are moving to streaming.
With all due respect, she's doing a Chrystia Freeland. You know, I'm not part of this. Television is in decline. We're in decline. Everybody's in decline. We're sinking ship. That's why we're firing employees and we're giving ourselves bonuses. They should all be fired then. Get rid of CBC.
They're connected television.
With all due respect, the CBC has almost $500 million in real estate holdings across the country. Big fancy buildings in downtowns across the country. You get over $1 billion in taxpayers' money to be a television broadcaster, radio broadcaster. When those metrics are down, how do you justify giving performance awards to people whose job it is to increase viewership, to increase ad revenue, to increase trust?
Madam Chair, if I may, I don't agree with the premise. I don't agree with the premise. 79% of Canadians say that it is important for the country to have a public broadcaster like CBC Radio-Canada.
79% of Canadians say it's important to have CBC? Yeah, right. Who put on this poll? Yeah, right, lady. Catherine Tate.
82% say...
Who commissioned that poll?
Those are our public perception surveys that we conduct.
Oh, you conducted, okay.
By
using a third-party Leger survey firm.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
So your own CBC poll on CBC's website for your CBC fans says that 79% of them who are going to your propaganda website and voting say that you like it and that you guys all deserve bonuses, $500,000 bonuses. Because you're doing so well with your ad revenue dropping by half and your viewership dropping by half.
If the argument is to try to say that we're no longer of value, all I would say is that's not what I hear from Canadians.
What I'm asking about is the bonuses. With all due respect, when you give someone a bonus, and we've just agreed on the metrics that should be used to judge a broadcaster, when those metrics are down, how do you justify giving people, executives, big bonuses when they haven't achieved success by these metrics that we've agreed on?
As I pointed out, the metrics that we measure are public and tracked, and they're in all of our reports. So I'm afraid...
Look at her smirk, guys. She can't keep a straight face. Look at this right there. Look at this. It's the CBC Catherine, you little witch. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, I was going to show it to you, but everybody's got to look at this. She can't hold it in. She can't hold it in. She's laughing. She's laughing at us, guys, that what is her personal bonus? Somebody look these up. What did Catherine Tate get for her 2023 bonus?
And they're in all of our reports, so I'm afraid to say that public and tracked, and they're in all of our reports. So I'm afraid to say that that trust is down. Trust is down across the entire media section, and it also affects politicians. It also affects all of
you misrepresent the truth. It does affect the politicians.
Excuse me.
Oh my God!
Is up, but at the same time, I wish.
And then what is this? Whoever's hosting it. She's wearing a breathing barrier today, guys. This is like new stuff. Bob, I'm busy. She's wearing a breathing barrier. A breathing barrier.
that we would stop talking over each other. If someone asks a question, we should listen. If someone's going to give an answer, we should listen. So, anyway, the time is up, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Well, let's go back to her smirking about her bonus.
By these metrics that we've
I know.
As I pointed out, the metrics that we measure
Like,
are public and tracked.
This is
and
like I'm
they're
paying
in all of
insane
our
amounts of
reports. So I'm
taxes,
afraid to say
and
that,
she
the trust is
gets
down.
all these bonuses, and
Okay,
like
guys.
she basically gets paid $500,000 a year
CEO. She's been a CEO for what, a year or two?
For tanking the
Maybe
CBC.
you can verify that as well. So she,
Go
her
woke,
job,
go broke.
she got paid. Was it $400,000 to $460,000?
I know, it's insane.
$497,000. That's her pay. $500,000 for what she's doing, and the bonus, $120,000 bonus on top of her $500,000 pay. How does that make you guys feel? She's paid $620,000 almost to spew Trudeau's propaganda. Super disturbing, guys. This is a super disturbing woman.
Say that that trust is down. Trust is down across the entire media section, and it also affects politicians. It also affects all of us.
So she has a 5-year term, started in 2018. $500,000.
But it was renewed until January of 2025 last year.
But it was renewed in January 2025, so she's got another 2 years on top of that. Oh my God. So let's one more time, guys, and we're going to leave it. We've had enough of this.
Public perception surveys that we conduct.
Oh, you conducted, okay.
But
so your polling tells you that
using
Canadians
a
like what you're doing.
third-party Leger survey firm.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. If the argument is to try to say that we're no longer of value, all I would say is that's not what I hear from Canadians.
What I'm asking
and our
is,
numbers.
without your
I would like to have somebody, an expert on, again, like that one lawyer I was showing who was an expert on like movements, body, and like nervousness. Notice how when she tries to give her answer, she takes her glasses off, guys. What is that about? Anybody in the comments good at reading bodies and lying and deception and nervousness and just smugness? Is that her smugness when she takes her glasses off and like, I'm telling you the truth, I'm rich, I'm making money off of all you guys and pushing propaganda, pushing the
She doesn't even live in Canada. She doesn't even, she lives in New York.
Freaking Trudeau, I own Trudeau. He's like in my pen palace right now.
I would say is that's not what I hear from Canadians.
What I'm asking
and
about
our
is
numbers.
The bonuses. Without your circumstance, when you give someone a bonus, and
okay,
we've
guys,
just agreed on the metrics that
this is Ernie Racing. What are your thoughts on her smugness? Ernie Racing out. Like, subscribe, and share. Help get the algorithm on CensorTube.
There's some good articles. Like this backlash over Danielle Smith is like people are just melting down. And another one, oh yeah, this one's long, but I thought this was so cool. Go Texas, like. Yay, thank you, truckers. Yay. And this is Texas, like, oh man, how do we crowdsource some more razor wire? No, it's like, it's an invasion. Call it what it is. See, like, this is disturbing. This is not a humanitarian thing. It's like, it's gone past it. It's just really late here. I already have it up. Hey, don't mess with Texas. Take our border back. Yeah, take your border back. Definitely. That was weird. No, just a poster fell off the wall.
Where are you coming? Where are you coming from?
What?
Where are you coming from?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Coming from Dallas.
God bless you.
God bless.
You got a word about for Alex Jones?
Good grief. Wow. Dang, that's a lot. No, and this is like.
Hey there, thank you. What's up? God bless you. You want to talk to InfoWars? Good, take care.
Aww.
You really work for FedEx? You really work for FedEx?
No, I just bought the van and fixed it up to keep my mobile at home.
God bless you. Where are you from?
I'm from New Brunswick, Canada, and I'm Snowbird in Florida. But I stand.
Where did you join the convoy at?
I left Daytona Beach and I met them up at
Awesome.
Louisiana.
See, we're everywhere. Aww. All the way from New Brunswick. Just to, you know. Hey,
What's up, man? Every single day I listen to you. I say, look, man, I've heard every excuse, every reason why people can't get out here. You know, I'm a busy. Hey, man, how are you? How are you? Where are you coming from? Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is amazing to see.
This just keeps going on and on.
Oh, yeah.
Where you guys come from? North Carolina. Oh, wow. You've been
North Carolina.
I've never cried so hard for the last.
Saw a lot of people cheering us on.
Oh, we are. We are.
My heart.
God bless you guys. Terrific.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Look just how many cars are out here.
Yay.
Cars just go on and on and on. Where are you guys coming from?
Pennsylvania.
You've joined it in Pennsylvania?
We left Pennsylvania on Monday and drove to Jacksonville.
I'm from Pennsylvania, outside Philadelphia.
God bless. We're from Poconos.
God bless you guys, man. God's children. What's that?
We were snowboarding last week.
Snowboard, now you're in a convoy. All right.
Nice.
Nice ride. Nice ride.
That is.
Where'd you join in at?
Up there, Hondo.
Oh, wow.
Look at the front.
Slingshot. You got a long distance in front of you.
I'm talking about the.
What do you got? Oh, yeah. Patriotic, for sure. Thank
Dang.
you, sir.
It's that all doesn't look real.
God bless you.
This is like really actually pretty incredible to see. Because like I don't think Canadians really realize how bad it is, and all these people are going down there to do is pray. They're just going down there to pray. It's just cool.
That's right, we're working on it.
This is hilarious.
We got a lot of cars out here. Keep the cars keep going and going. InfoWars, Warcry, Brown Stones, we got it. God bless you, man. It's been a long
Get
day.
grief, it's still going.
How y'all doing? You got to work for InfoWars? You watch Boston? Oh my gosh. Y'all take care. How many cars are there?
This is trucks, cars, like
motorcycles, campers, RVs. Got it all.
this is like no, I just thought that this was fascinating because it's like there's such, just solidarity, because what's going on at their border is insane and it shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be.
How are you?
That's like bringing more
Right,
razor
where'd you
wire.
come from?
Like,
From Livingston.
Livingston.
Yeah.
Been driving all day?
Yeah, we left Dripping Springs at about 10:30.
Oh, wow. Welcome to, what's this?
Cornerstone Children's.
Yes. Kamado.
Kamado. Yeah.
Have a great day, man. God bless. How are you guys doing? Where'd you guys jump in on at?
Well, we came in from Cyprus to Austin.
Gotcha. It's been a long day for you guys. Yeah. How was you driving through towns? How was the reaction through towns? Oh, I thought it was wonderful. People coming out. I heard in Uvalde.
Valley was over the top.
Really? Oh, Castroville. Really was. Yeah. What was going on in Uvalde? Like they were coming out to the streets and people.
Yeah, they were all downtown.
Up and down.
Up both sides. It's great.
wow.
Reaction from small towns. In fact, San Antonio.
Things you won't see on the CBC. Like this is incredible.
I'll have to take a look. God bless you guys. Take care. You too.
God bless you.
God bless you. Where'd you jump in at?
San Marcos.
San Marcos.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been driving for a long time.
From Seguin.
Staying overnight?
Definitely.
How many people are in this? Like, what do you think?
Hundreds.
It looks like.
Yeah. As far as my eyes can see
You still
in
gotta
front,
walk.
and as far as my eyes can see in back.
I've been walking now for 18 minutes. So.
Yeah, I'm estimating
Big ranch
probably
coming up.
200 to 500 as a conservative estimate. It could be closer to 1,000,
This is still on and on. How are you, sir? How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
I'm all right. This is pretty big convoy here.
Yeah, buddy.
Where are you guys coming from?
We came from other side of Houston.
Oh, so you've been all day.
Oh, yeah.
All day. Staying the night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's a...
Might stay the week. I don't know.
Might stay the week. Guys, be safe. God bless. Thank you. Yeah, it's a big convoy, isn't it?
This is like...
How are you? When did you jump in?
Really just like 40 miles ago or something.
Really? So you're
Not
like in
from
the back.
Houston though, but yeah, I just kind of cut them off and kind of met them over here.
This is like hundreds.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
That might be like thousands from my perspective.
Well, if it depends.
I've been I've been on for almost 20 minutes. So I just been walking.
Have you been counting?
I'm sorry.
Have you been
I
counting?
should. I didn't, but I could.
You'd almost need like a little
Plus, there's a lot
clicker
of people at the
because
ranch.
you'd
There's
lose
about 200
count,
at the ranch.
especially filming.
No, I'm filming and everything like that. Just seeing JLR Investigates. Check it out on YouTube.
Nice. Yeah, I saw some of your videos.
Yeah, check it out. God bless you.
Yeah, his channel is amazing because it's footage you wouldn't see. Don't mess with Texas, you know. And it's crazy. Like, he showed how easy it is just to walk across. He's like, yeah, you can. Like, he's done such good investigating.
God bless you.
God bless you too, man. How far down that goes.
Wow.
Down a rural road. Campers, pickup trucks, cars, everything. We'll go all the way to the end. How you guys doing? Where are you guys coming from?
Houston and North Carolina.
What media are you in?
JLR Investigates. I'm on YouTube, so go check it out later.
Okay, cool.
Yes, this is a big convoy. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't even know if you guys are in the back because it just keeps going and going and going.
Jesus. This is
Wow.
incredible.
God bless you guys.
I hope I don't get a strike for this, but this is fascinating.
Where are you coming from? Yeah, so you started in Tennessee?
Yeah, I caught up with him in Baton Rouge.
Gotcha. You've
Nice.
been doing this for a couple days.
Yeah, it's been a long drive.
Long drive. Well, you're
Yeah,
almost
it is.
there.
Are we there yet?
Well, I'm now on 22 minutes, so I've been walking for 22 minutes. That's how long it is. So it'll take
Jesus.
you a minute. God bless
Let's
you.
just skip ahead of it.
How you doing? Got a sheriff next to you. Oh, you're a sheriff too? Oh, God bless you guys. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
You guys joining the compound or joining the...
Making sure everything's safe.
Oh, which county you guys with?
Maverick County.
Shout out to Maverick County. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Aw.
Wait in line. I'm gonna.
That's gonna be a long walk back.
Hundreds, but less than 1,000. Not sure.
Yeah.
Over 100. I think there's over 100. Nice seeing
It
you,
could,
though.
I don't know if it'll get bigger or
JLR.
not. Like,
Jonathan. Nice
this
to meet
is.
you, Caroline. Nice to see you again. So, what do you think, folks? Out here, hundreds.
I'd say hundreds.
What do you think, folks? There's a lot.
I think it's just under 1,000.
A lot of people here.
You know,
This is
it's.
just north of Eagle Pass out here. Being
I
friendly with people,
just-
saying hi, seeing the festivities. This is a rural road.
I'm just trying to do the calculations for like how far we've walked and
JLR
filmed.
Investigates. Sub to the channel, like, hit the notification button.
Definitely.
We will talk soon. Out here in
And if you want to see what's going on at the border, it is raw and real. Like,
we'll talk soon. Stay tuned.
He does amazing. Yeah. Yeah, definitely like and subscribe to him because he is covering things the mainstream media isn't. This was really cool. I mentioned this last night.
It's an enduring mystery that's captured the imagination of people for generations. What happened to Amelia Earhart? There could now be a major development in the search for her crashed plane. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack.
New hope in the decades-long search to solve the mystery of what happened to Amelia Earhart and find the wreckage of her plane. A sonar image now shows what some say could be part of her Lockheed 10E Electra aircraft sitting on the ocean floor. Earhart set out on a journey around the world in 1937 after becoming the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Tony Romeo, head of the exploration company Deep Sea Vision, recently searched across 5,200 square miles of the Pacific Ocean floor using an unmanned submersible. In the final leg of the expedition, the team captured this sonar image of what looks like an object shaped like an airplane resting underwater within 100 miles of Howland Island, near where Earhart was believed to have gone down after refueling in Papua New Guinea. Romeo says he wasn't surprised to find the aircraft intact, saying, "We always felt that Earhart would have made every attempt to land the aircraft gently on the water. The sonar image suggests that may be the case." Romeo is also raising hope that some of Earhart's maps and charts could be found, saying, "We plan to bring closure to a great American story." Sonar experts are giving credibility to the image, saying it deserves closer inspection. The Deep Sea Vision team now plans to return to the same location to get better images. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, that could be interesting to see if it is, you know. Oh boy.
I don't like to go out. I don't like to take pictures or videos of myself very often.
This was sad. I don't know if I want to play this one, but I'm going to.
My face triggers me the most. You know, I don't meet my gaze in the mirror. Because when I do, I think of being shot. I think of the last memory I felt when it was like a bomb went off in a movie, when the bullet hit my face. You know, it's the little things that trigger you, but also the big things like my face. Some of like my family and my friends think, you know, you can just tune it out. You can just forget this stuff. You don't have to share it or process it or go through it. You can just ignore it. And that's not true. Your body physically will not let you do that. It makes you remember. I'm Abby. I was shot in my face, heart, and lung a year ago by my son's dad, who I'd been dating since I was 13. Honestly, a lot of things that I don't think are going to trigger my PTSD trigger my PTSD. The other day, I was in the car with my boyfriend, and we got to the destination I thought was the right place, so I put it in the maps, and it was the wrong place. And I immediately had a meltdown.
I can relate to this.
I was beaten over something that little.
Not getting shot in the face, but just the PTSD part.
And she is bravely sharing her experience and raising awareness.
I struggle with little memories, and they're like movies that play through my head every day of the things that he did to me and the things that I didn't process in the last 8 years. So I'm basically processing 8 years worth of trauma every day, and it's exhausting. It's very exhausting.
Abby opens up about her life as a mother to her 2.5-year-old son, Styles, and how it's been affected by what happened.
I was in the hospital, freshly just had woken up. It was a couple days after I had woken up and I was moving around on my own and everything. And my mom had to tell me, she had asked me if she could take my son for a while. If she can watch my son. As a mom, I was dumbfounded. I never even, stopped to think maybe I personally couldn't care for my son. He lives with my mom half the time now. We share him. We both love him a lot. He's really happy. But most of this year, he lived only with my mom because I wasn't physically fit enough to, play with him and hold him. I couldn't hold him because of my graft. I had, months of surgeries to go through before I could really be his mom again. I still physically struggle with a lot of pain, mentally and physically. So I can't have him as much as I want to. I can't have him every day. Or I can't be the best mom I can be for him,
Styles was just 1 year old at the time of the incident. She revealed in her comment section that she never got justice for what happened to her.
Every time before my son comes home, I have a panic attack. Every time I see my son, I get triggered. And not just like normal people triggered. I get I remember everything his dad did to me while my son wasn't there, if that makes sense. The last memory I have was his birthday, his first birthday. I went over to his dad's house because he asked me to come inside and look at these cake pops. I knew I was not supposed to go into his house or barely even be at his house. But, I was like, it's Styles' birthday. Maybe he's on his best behavior. No, let me tell you, no. I walked in the house and he asked me. And Styles is standing in the living room with me. I'm looking at him. And he runs over to me and he grabs my pants on my legs. My legs are hanging off the bed because his dad's on top of me. And he's grabbing, he's pulling at my pant leg. And
this is so tragic,
That's what I remember when I look at my son. But it's not his fault. In any way, it's not his fault, but it's true. And I feel like a horrible person for it.
She's not, though.
A lot of people have asked me, do you think that Brian loved his son? And my answer to that is, you can't love your son and give him 2 lies and a conviction and lie about what happened. Yeah. You can't love your son and take him in the car for 8 hours while you stalk his mom.
This is like...
You can't love your son and hurt him.
And I wonder how many other women
for
go
your
through
own
this,
selfish reasons. You can't do it. It's not the way that love is. I think maybe he loved the idea of being a proud dad.
But you don't do that to your kid
getting attention
or your mom.
My son was beautiful.
The mother of one has found a huge amount of support from her viewers online, who have left comments such as, "You know how powerful you are. You survived a crazy traumatic situation.
Yeah, it's amazing
90%
she's
couldn't and
alive.
wouldn't survive to talk about it."
Yeah.
Someone else said, "You just shared your story in such a beautiful and raw way. Thank you for your bravery and for sharing your feelings." And Abby is truly remarkable.
I think
so
it is
huge
hard.
Thank you to her for letting us share her story.
And thank
we
you
really
to
do
this
wish her and her son
this
the absolute
channel
best.
for highlighting a
always,
story
thanks
like
for watching
this,
Ultimate.
because that's horrible what happened to this poor woman and her family. Oh, this one. Speaking of being
This is one of the
sick.
most terrifying things that you probably wouldn't think about living with a chronic illness. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with something called fibromyalgia, which can evidence itself in a lot of different symptoms and discomfort and pain. Trying to film a video, it's very serious. And what is so
Fibromyalgia is
confusing
like
to me is I never
sort of
know
like
if
MS.
it's just another Tuesday of living in my body, or if I'm in need of urgent medical attention and should go to the ER. For instance, a few years ago, I had a very bad kidney infection that was almost septic. By the time I got to the ER, the doctors were very freaked out. They were very angry. Why did I wait so long to come in? And my only answer was, I thought it was just like Friday. It is so hard
They get
to
pissed
know
at
when
you,
are
but
actually
it's like,
not
okay, this
okay
is
and
just my
something
body.
should be different versus a bad flare-up, or maybe a symptom evidencing itself more than it previously did before. If every time you're really concerned, you go to the ER or the doctor, you very much get looked at like the boy crying wolf.
Mhm.
But then when you just accept that and wait, then you are reprimanded for waiting too long and
Exactly.
almost
This
dying.
is just
Living in
exactly how
bodies
it
with
is.
chronic issues that are weird is really confusing.
Yeah. Because, like, when I went to the hospital, they were like, we haven't seen you since 2014. And it's like, yeah, I ain't sitting around like 6 to 8 hours just, because I might just need a Band-Aid, And at least at work, like, I had to work today, but I obviously don't sleep much. I do sometimes, but I don't work till the morning, so I'm good. It's just my hand is like sore. I should be wearing my brace, and I should be doing like the arthritis cream, but I have my blonde moments, and then I'll like forget it's on my finger and touch my face and get it in my eyes. Because like there's other ones. Oh dear. At least I'm admitting it. Yeah. And this was a great live stream Clyde did. I'd rather have 6 more weeks of winter than 6 more weeks of Trudeau. Yeah, we all do. This was good.
Come on now, girl, you got this, okay? Come on.
This is like
I know you've never done this before, but today you're doing
ultimate
this shit. Come on,
coach.
okay? It's a balance. You're doing it by get a bit closer. Yeah, there, where you're doing this by yourself to get that
Like
chin up,
he's
girl. Come
so
on now,
gentle and
okay? So now get that first step up. Get that right leg
and
up.
when you're relearning how to walk or
Come
do
on now, come on.
something like after a
Okay,
stroke or an
balance. Get that
accident,
first, get that right leg up.
it's kind of fun
Get it closer.
sometimes. Your body will not
Wait
do
there.
what you want it to do.
Wait.
It won't. It won't.
Wait. Okay, come on now, you do it
And
by
I've
yourself. Come on.
had these moments lately.
There we go! I'm not touching you.
Yeah.
Oh my heart. Oh,
Good coach. Good coach.
Fucking hell. Brilliant. Okay, do that again. Okay.
This man is one of the most inspirational people in
Like
fitness
just
today.
channel.
I
Like
could post a
that
video
is-
from his page every single night. Javeno is a trainer that specializes in working with people that have special needs, as well as people that have suffered major injuries.
Yeah.
Like this beautiful young woman, Kiara, that is battling back from a brain tumor and doing a great job. And he
Like-
does it with such passion and such love.
Because
So, Javeno,
you feel like
thank you for
you're
what
a
you do.
monster
We
or
need more
you're
people like you, not only in the gym,
garbage.
but in the world, brother.
And so
So
when you
everyone,
have
please
someone
go show 'em
coming
some
in
love
there
and
like,
have an
yeah, you
amazing
go
week.
for it. You did this. Even if it's just simple things like stepping up a curb, it actually means the world to you. Oh God, this one, yeah.
And we need immigrants in this country. Forget the fact that the farm, that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
That's racist.
What?
The fact is that the birth rate in this country is way below replacement level.
Okay.
Which means our population is going to start shrinking. And the ratio of people on Social Security and Medicare is going to increase relative to the number of people supporting them. This is a problem
They
faced
aren't even
by
trying to
every
hide it
major
anymore.
country
Like,
in the world.
let's just admit it.
Few countries, however, have the means to solve this problem through immigration. People want to immigrate to the United States. They do not want to immigrate to China or
Wow.
Russia. We are very lucky
No,
in
a
that
lot
respect,
of people want it.
and we should promote it and
Just,
regulate it
it
properly.
would be different if they
rather
were
than
doing it
denounce
legally.
ignorantly.
There is nothing against
The
legal
fact is that the
immigration.
birth rate in this country is
But
way below replacement
this
level,
is insane.
which means our population
What is
is
happening
going to
at the
start
southern
shrinking.
border?
Few countries, however,
And
have the
most
means to,
Canadians, like I've said before,
solve
don't
this
even
problem through
realize.
immigration.
And he's just. This is the attitude, though. It's like, oh, well, we need. I don't want to go out to a field, and I actually like farm work. Like, you're getting paid to get a tan. It's like, you know, I think of more, you know, get off. This is nuts. This was a nuts protest to watch. Yeah, so this is an older clip. A lot of people will be familiar with the story. He was accused of insulting migrants in a speech. And well, then he went to jail, and like, because it was classified as supremacy. But after pulling up like some things, like, yeah, he probably is. I don't know all the details. Also, this is from Deva, Ukraine. So, of course, it's going to be biased on one side of the story. I'm going to have to look into this one deeper, because I just was like, this is a crazy protest, and I wanted to, like, save it just so I could figure out what the hell was going on there. And that's not gonna play. Yeah, okay, maybe this will clear it up. I don't know if it will.
Что-то, ребята, не могу, в отношении населения применили слезоточивый газ.
Смотрите, его не сбивают! Почему? Что делаете?
Okay, now I know it seems, just to be clear, if you've lived somewhere cold, those aren't snowballs. Those are like chunks of ice, and they really hurt, especially if you get them on your head. Obviously, I had a few to my head as a kid, so I know, like, I know it just seems like, oh, they're throwing snowballs. No, those are like those are like rocks. It's not fun. Like, that's why, like, the cops had the shields and everything, like, or the soldiers, you know, because you kind of, I wish I had that as a kid. Maybe I'd be normal. I don't know. Nothing like a few concussions to build some character. Oh yeah, this is why I pulled it up, because I cut off the cell phone, and like, this is. And here we go. You know, and
Я свою вину не признаю. Всегда боролся за справедливость.
I've always fought for justice, for my people, for my republic.
Поэтому
So hopefully we'll see each other
иншаллах
again.
еще увидимся. Вот который сейчас народ приехал
The people
поддержать
come
меня.
here to
Я не знаю, что
support
будет
me.
дальше.
I don't know what will happen next.
Да, он множество раз преследовался, на него заводили уголовные дела, его сажали на сутки, ему давали множество штрафов. Поэтому весь народ практически Башкортостана его знает, любит и поддерживает. Именно поэтому столько народу вышло за него, потому что люди видят, что несправедливость, видят, что глава республики лично преследует Фаиля Алсынова.
They're basically like, let him go. And Russia has very strict rules about protesting, but you know what? This is like the whole little town came out to support him. Yeah, I pulled that one up. That one came out like around Christmas, but some of these are I'll pull up things, you know, months in advance, just because I know they'll age well. How long's this one? Oh, I can't do that. No, too long. You can find the full one on my blog. Well, yeah. Well, it's day 820. A Build Back Better. Nothing is built. Nothing is back. Nothing is better. Pretty much. And that was like the rainbow yesterday. I was streaming and I kept like running out to the balcony because I thought that was so cool. And I get the best rainbows off my balcony. I thought this was cool.
We sold our van after living in it for 3 years, so now what? This
Bye-bye,
vehicle has
van.
truly been our home. We bought it in 2019, converted it into a tiny home on wheels, and hit the road in 2020 with so much hope for the future. And I can honestly say that van life exceeded our expectations. We lived in this home through Canada, the US, and Mexico. It carried us through a global pandemic, through death in the family, and through losing a friend. It carried us through our engagement, stressful wedding planning, and the best day of our lives, the day we finally got married. We met some of our best friends we could have ever imagined and saw sights some people will never see in their lifetime. And now we sold it to its next owner, who will live out her own van life dream. So what's next for us? Well, I'll tell you that we're not settling down. Van life started to feel a little bit too comfortable, and we felt like there was more of the world to see than just here in North America. So we're packing our bags and we're moving overseas, and we cannot wait to bring you along.
I think that would be cool, but I'm also like, I like having my artist studio, you know? I'd love to see the world and travel, but this was amazing. Evie! God, I should play Pokemon again. I haven't for a while. I'm just so busy with this in life. It's hard to play games.
Here are some of my favorite client reactions of all time.
Oh my
I can't pick a favorite between Cotton Ball's mom or Buddy's
That
mom,
is
which is
so
Oliver the
damn
Tiger.
cute.
Next up, I filmed a trio of Frenchies. This reaction was also one of my favorites.
This is so cute. Like, oh my goodness. Like, this guy has so much talent. Like, and this is so damn cute. They are so cute.
Next up,
Oh,
of course, is the Sugar Babe.
oh goodness. Like, oh my goodness, that is like the cutest damn thing. Oh my goodness, that is just so damn cute. Like it doesn't work on all dogs, but it's actually a non-toxic, like I've researched like the guy who does that, and it's all like really like you could use it on yourself and not feel like scared about it. And like it's probably safer than regular hair dye, you know.
Piers Morgan stunned by high-tech procedure to evaporate King Charles' enlarged prostate. As King Charles is set to undergo a medical procedure next week, Piers Morgan was flabbergasted when a doctor revealed what the monarch could be facing with a new procedure for an enlarged prostate. Following the shocking news of Princess Kate's hospitalization for a planned abdominal procedure, it has been announced that King Charles III will also be out of action from next week.
Yeah,
for a
it's
planned
just like
procedure for
we're
his
all
enlarged
falling
prostate.
apart. I don't know what's going on
Dubbing
right
the
now.
double announcement a royal health crisis. Piers Morgan took to his chat show on Talk TV with some experts to shed light
He's
on
actually
what the monarch
thought
could be
about
facing.
advocating and giving
The
it
channel's
to
royal
William
editor,
just because,
Sarah Hewson, assured that the
like,
procedure is routine
just
and
in
should only
case.
require a short recovery period.
Not like I'm a big
Dr.
monarchist,
Mark
but
Siegel then made a startling revelation as he explained the new modern procedure, which uses non-invasive techniques to avoid an open operation to fix the enlarged prostate. He explained, "These days peers were using a green laser, which actually is quite a small way to go about it. It's through the urethra, but as Sarah has said, you're down within an hour and maybe home the next day." However, Piers' concerns lay more with what sedatives they would be giving the 75-year-old, as Dr. Siegel assured it would likely be done under general anesthesia. The medical expert noted that this would include giving the king propofol, which he dubbed the Michael Jackson drug, as well as ketamine. Piers was rocked by this revelation,
Party in the-
exclaiming a high-pitched, "Ketamine? Are we going to have King Charles in a ketamine storm?" Dr. Siegel tentatively answered with a wry chuckle, "I hope not." The visibly concerned journalist prompted the doctor for more information about the ketamine use and why it was necessary when the medical professional exclaimed, "You're literally evaporating part of the prostate with this, the front part that's pinching the urethra. You're literally using the laser to evaporate it." Turning the conversation back to Sarah, Piers questioned what would happen if the monarch is required while the king is under general anesthesia, and the royal expert explained that the counselors of state will attend to matters if needed. As Prince William is also stepping back to help with his wife's recovery, the counselors now include Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, and King Charles's siblings, Prince Andrew, Princess Anne, and...
Oh god, that sounds just bad. Oh my god. Long live the king. Jesus. Let's not get Camel in there. Camilla. I wanted to say like horse face, but
No. Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants.
Objection.
I think I would remember.
Relevance.
Next question.
I'm so pathetic when it comes to knowing what movies I've done. I'm sorry. I don't watch them. I feel better not watching them. I couldn't. What was the question again?
Or I will have you removed. Understood?
this is such a ridiculous court case.
The next article, 2016, it's entitled "Johnny Depp, Friends and Family Seriously Concerned About Him. Here's Why."
Yes, how did they know?
May 1st, The next article says Johnny Depp reportedly drank heavily and was constantly late on the new Pirates movie set. Did I read that right?
You did, reportedly.
The next document entitled Where Did It All Go Wrong for Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp's star power looks as wobbly as Jack Sparrow on a plank. Did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
Rolling Stone article titled The Trouble with Johnny Depp. Multi-million-dollar lawsuits, haze of booze and hash, a marriage gone very wrong, and a lifestyle he can't afford inside the trials of Johnny Depp. Did I read that right?
You did. You should read the article.
And the last one, Daily Mail. Vodka for breakfast, 72-hour drug binges, sending sprees that beggar belief. Alison
Is he
Beauchamp
single?
revealed why Hollywood's
We make a
reeling
great
over
match.
what's being called Johnny Depp's career.
Who's Alison Beauchamp and how does she know?
When Amber made abuse accusations, you became aware that it got a lot of press attention, correct?
Very quickly, I became aware.
You became associated with those.
I think that's clear.
And you understood that she became associated with those same accusations that she made, correct?
Well, she had a choice. I didn't. She threw the large bottle, made contact, shattered everywhere. I felt no pain whatsoever. I felt heat, as if something were dripping down my hand, you know. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed. I was looking directly at my bone.
You were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
Paul Bettany's a good friend that you've done drugs with, right?
It's a strange question. Paul Bettany is a good friend. Yes.
You gave quite a bit of testimony in that trial, right?
I wouldn't be able to judge that myself. It felt like a lot.
Miss Heard didn't like it when you were high on drugs or drunk on alcohol, right?
She didn't like it when it was her perception. Her perception is quite different than the truth.
Pills with Marilyn Manson.
I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
A lot of people did.
It did
And
assault
Billy Corgan.
a couple of cabins, but I did not touch Miss Heard.
And
as you can see, I think
you poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
And they shot about someone trying to break into the unit. That was the dog trying to get into the unit.
Oh God,
They were
this is
so afraid.
ridiculous.
Oh, somebody's trying to get into my unit. It's like, oh, come on, really?
Okay, I wonder if I thought I pulled up the Tyler Fisher one of Amber Heard. After this, it might be coming up.
You don't recall seeing Amber Heard on May 24th, correct?
I don't remember. I don't even remember what I got for breakfast.
Mr. Depp, if Disney came to you with $300 million and 1 million alpacas, nothing on this earth would get you to go back and work with Disney on a Pirates of the Caribbean film.
That is true, Mr. Roddenborn.
Miss Heard told you that you vomit in your sleep a lot. Do you remember that recording?
Yes, I do.
And what's your response to that?
She didn't tell me. I heard it in court. When someone brings up the fact that you vomit in your sleep every night, and, well, at first I think you'd be aware of it. Also, I think the first thing that I would do is seek medical attention. Didn't exist.
Now, you're a lot bigger than Amber, correct? Physically.
I wouldn't say that.
Yesterday, you texted. I'm sorry. I thought we'd seen a lot of texts today.
It's all right. I did take someone yesterday. Well, it was clear that she was performing for the tape because it was being recorded. That was another clue that something was slightly rotten in the state of Denmark. To me as being a monster. There was no way that I was going to sit there and go through a 45-minute argument about, you're a monster. No, I'm not. You're a monster. No, I'm not. You're a monster. It was an impossibility. So what do? You accept her vernacular. You accept what the word that she uses, and then you use that word to placate her so that it would lessen the.
And she wouldn't poop on your bed. Jesus. Yeah, it's a good thing we're here. Yeah, I did find it.
I recall waking up in the morning and
He does
reaching under my pillow to find a piece of poo, a grumpy, if pardon my language. Miss Heard had left a turd. It was a Heard turd, and she knew my mother used to poo under my pillow, so it would really reach the depths of my pain. I then went to the kitchen to make some eggs, as I often do in the morning, and as I reached into the carton, she had replaced, Miss Heard had replaced each egg with a egg turd, a grumpy egg, which was why a human would do that. So I ran outside to get in my car to escape, and as I put my hand on the steering wheel, which was once a stitched leather wheel, was now replaced with a turd rope. She pooped and made it into a poopy wheel. I don't know why. And my mother used to do all of this, and so I will now go into a 2-hour monologue to express how I feel. And I hope you express how you feel by following me and hitting the notification bell and signing my email list so you can see me perform live. Please, end the turd violence and sign my mailing list.
That was like things you didn't expect. I didn't have that on my bingo card for that court case. Yeah, there we go. Another one.
I haven't slept in 2 weeks. I have been watching that new Johnny Depp show on Netflix. Holy hell. Jeez.
Oh,
7-hour
memories.
episodes. Dude, I turned it on. I was like, what is wrong with him? I'm starting to look like him. I've been watching it so long. I turned it on. I literally thought I was watching the movie Blow. Why is he dressed like a crackhead from the 80s? It's ridiculous, man. His hair is all fucking crazy. He's just fucking, it's all strung out. He's wearing like a big 80s suit. He's wearing sunglasses on the stand. He's trying to win a lawsuit. It's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Like, they do the craziest shit ever to each other, but then he'll spend 20 minutes telling a poem to even get to it. Like, Mr. Depp, where were you on June 12th, 2015? June 12th. 15. Why does he sound like Batman? Fuck Elon Musk. Very cool day. That was a very cool day.
Oh my goodness.
I remember what happened that day with Miss Heard. I woke up the morning of, and there was a light dew outside. I recall an injured crow that was sitting on the stump of an oak tree. I went down to my chamber and knitted a cashmere sweater to keep it warm. As the sun dripped through the drapes onto my nose, that's when it hit me. Miss Heard had taken a shit in my laptop. A grumpy, if you will. I'm sorry. What the fuck's he talking about? We all know a grumpy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call it a grumpy and be crass. And that's the moment when the crow started squawking lightly. It reminded me of a trip to Arizona. That's when it hit me. Miss Heard had murdered my Labrador. My mom used to do that.
So, all right, this joke won't work after tonight, so that's it, really. It's like an NFT, really. I'm doing NFT jokes. They disappear. I don't even know what it is.
I really like him. He does such hilarious comedy. Oh boy, this is like, wow.
Welcome back to Uncensored Demand.
It sounds long, but I might try and pull it up because this is just like,
his name was written on an Israeli bomb to be dropped on Gaza.
yeah, this I'm not going to pull up all of this, but let's just get a bit
I'm
of
joined now by
this.
Democratic Presidential candidate Cenk
Because I did mention
Youssef,
about
the son of the
Young
Hamas
Turks
co-founder Sheikh Hassan Youssef. Assad has opposed the terror group since defecting in the 90s. And the former Chelsea and Israel manager Avram Grant joins me live in the studio. Avram, great to see you, and I'll come to you in just a moment. Cenk, I want to start with you because pretty extraordinary to see your name scrawled on a IDF bomb. Just first of all, what was your response to that?
Yeah, it's of course disheartening to see it. It's sick. They're going to drop those bombs on Palestinian civilians. They're probably going to murder babies and grandmothers with those bombs. That's why if I'm president, I won't send Israel a single dollar. Not only the $14 billion they're considering now, but I would end all
I don't
funding to
even know
Israel
if I want
as
to,
they
like, he's
massacred
just,
civilian after civilian, 19,000 dead, 9,000 children butchered. I do not want a single American tax dollar
I'm
going
gonna
to
skip
help
to the
Israel
next
commit
one.
war
I'm gonna
crimes.
skip to the next one. You can find the full one. My link is in the description, bluecryptomeria.gold. Yeah, .gold is a real domain.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Truck Talk, brought to you by me, inspired by my man, Chili. I just got off the phone with Chili, and he wanted me to do a quick truck talk for you guys about the 2 SEALs who have been missing since Thursday night, I think it was. They went missing while conducting VBSS operations off the coast of Somalia. I just want to give you guys a little context on what that looks like and what might have possibly happened, because many of you probably don't understand what VBSS is. And I'm not going to go into the tactics on how we assault ships and all that good stuff, because I'm not putting that out for bad people to watch on YouTube here. So we're not going to go into the details of the tactics. I'm just going to help you understand it. First of all, for me personally, the most difficult thing about being a SEAL was the fact that you had to be able to operate in water, in a maritime environment, in the ocean, right? The ocean is the great equalizer. I don't care how tough you are. The ocean will make a baby out of you. It is unforgiving, and it is, I would say, probably the most powerful force and the most inhospitable environment on Earth. And it's the one thing that separates SEALs from all other special operations units, is the fact that we specialize in operating in a maritime environment. Anytime you're doing operations in the ocean, the risk is 10x. The risk just goes through the freaking roof, man. Again, it's unforgiving. Now, in this particular operation, VBSS, that's open source stuff. Visit board, search and seizure, I think it stands for. It's basically where you're interdicting a ship, all right? So you're going on to a ship in order to take the ship down, stop it from going where it's going with the cargo that it has. These guys were climbing up a ladder, or this SEAL was climbing up a ladder, going up the side of a ship. I've done this many, many times. And the ladder that you're climbing on is a little small wire caving ladder. It's really, really hard to hold on to that thing. It's difficult to climb in any scenario. And what happens is, especially in high seas, in big surf, which there's big surf off the coast of Somalia, what happens is, as you're going up this ladder, man, if you take a big wave, a big freaking rogue wave or something hits the side of this vessel, as you're climbing up this caving ladder up the side of this vessel,
especially with all the gear on.
The force of that wave can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
It can smash you up against the side of the ship as you're going up. It can knock you unconscious. It can peel you off that ladder because that water's...
It's also like, I think he mentioned, if you're a SEAL, you are in so much gear. So, that was the biggest thing with this accident, is he couldn't get out of his gear quick enough. His partner tried to save him, and they both drowned, unfortunately. Not to ruin the punchline.
It's powerful, man. It can peel you right off that ladder.
Yeah, it will.
And depending on how far up the ladder you are, when you hit the water, it's going to hurt. If you get peeled off the ladder, you could always land in between the ship that you're climbing up and the boat that you rode in on. And you can get pinned between those two vessels. That can injure you severely. So it's really easy to get peeled off of that ladder. It's really easy, even if you don't take a big wave, it's really easy just to lose your grip and fall off of that freaking caving ladder, right? Another thing that you have to consider is when you're doing VBSS, I don't know what these guys' SOP was, but you're doing this in full kit.
Yeah.
So you're going up to take this ship down, and as you're climbing up this ladder, you've got body armor.
This is nuts.
You've got all your magazines. You have your weapon, your secondary weapon. You have your helmet.
He couldn't get out in time.
You've got some sort of footwear on, not fins, obviously, some sort. So in other words, you're weighted down. And so if you get peeled off of this ladder, man, and you're in full kit, when you hit the water, even if you haven't been knocked unconscious, when you hit the water, you're like an anchor. Like you got all this stuff on you, and it's hard to tread water when you've got all that extra weight on you, right? Especially when you don't have fins on. Now, most of the time, depending on what guys' SOPs are, you have some sort of flotation device on you that you can pop, but that doesn't always happen in time, and you have to be conscious to be able to activate your flotation devices. So you got all this weight on you, man. You hit the water, and especially in high surf, it can get pretty chaotic pretty quick. What is really humbling to think about, though, is this guy who got peeled off this ladder for whatever reason. When he hit the water, his buddy jumped in after him, man. I want y'all to think about that. His swim buddy jumped in after him. Talk about selflessness, man. What an example of selflessness. I don't know. It's just really humbling to think about that.
It just would have been his instinct.
Get peeled off this ladder, and without even thinking, he jumps in. He jumps in the water after him to help him out, to try to rescue him.
Instinct. But the surf was too high.
That's why 2 men have been lost. We don't know what they haven't found any bodies or anything yet, but they haven't found them yet. I don't write nobody off, man, until it's all said and done. And the last thing I'll say on this is they were doing all this stuff, this really complex VBSS operation in the ocean in high surf conditions, and they were doing it at night.
Yeah.
So this is probably one of the most high risk missions that you can possibly engage in.
You know,
special
50-50
operations.
going in.
Is a shipboard search and seizure
Mm-hmm.
in high seas at night.
In Somalia. Yeah, the odds were not
A lot
in
of
their
y'all
favor.
don't freaking understand, man. That job is insane. That job, you have
But
to
if
be
we do not have people willing to risk their
a little bit
lives,
crazy to do that job.
like,
So
you know,
I just wanted to give y'all some context on that, man. And
we
we'll
like
keep hoping for the best for these guys.
yeah, just and love and prayers to
And,
their family.
I'm gonna say a prayer for
You
their
know.
families too.
Wow.
It's tough,
I
man.
didn't plan that.
All right. If you got anything out of this episode, y'all know the deal. Get you a hat, get you a t-shirt. Keep my man Chili in the dungeon. I'm going to keep Truck Talk coming. I'll see you guys later this week. Love you. Enough said.
That was a good article. I must have been in a mood this day when I made this one. And this one is like important because most people wouldn't pay attention to their surroundings. And yeah, I've learned the hard way. You know, you kind of need to pay attention.
Open the door now! Open it! Open it!
Want to win one of these?
Unfortunately, this is a Canadian channel and you do not qualify. You do not have the right to defend yourself according to the Trudeau government. So if someone breaks into your house, you basically just have to roll over and let them take what they want, rape your wife, kill your kids. You know, that's just what's going to happen. No, so this is an American channel, but I wanted to pull this one up just for things to be aware of. And this is also like things I wouldn't think of. And unfortunately, we do not have guns in Canada. So, yeah, you can kind of step over like a few of these things. I don't even know if I'm going to get a strike showing this because our rules in Canada are so strict about the bangy things. Meanwhile, in the States, it's like not a big deal. But I thought this was important, like, you know, because he goes through how you should brace the door. And if other people have other opinions, I'd love to hear them. Definitely put it in the comment section of, you know, anything. I don't even know if I'm streaming on Rumble right now, or I know I'm streaming on X. Hopefully I'm still on YouTube.
Stick around till the end of the
Knock on
video to
wood.
find out how.
When we're talking about being attacked, we really don't know what the attacker is thinking at any given point. The only two things that we have control of is our situational awareness and how we respond due to our training if we are to be attacked. So now let's jump back to the beginning of the scenario. We're going to talk about the herd mentality and the way I like to teach when it comes to observation skills. When we go to a place such as a kids park, what you're going to typically find are multiple different types of herds. If you look out in a field of horses or fields of cows, every now and then they'll all be bunched up, and many times they'll be in different herds. You may have a larger herd here, a smaller herd, and then we may have the castaways that are just roaming by themselves. Here at the park, what we have are parents sitting on the benches,
pretty
watching their children
fascinating.
play, maybe reading a book or talking on the phone, something of that nature. The next herd, children that are actually engaging and playing. Another herd that you guys saw here was a construction workers. Under the given circumstances, all of these herds make sense for this environment. So what I'm doing is a primary observation and a secondary observation. I'm kind of assessing the environment, trying to determine what makes sense under these given circumstances. So if I see an individual, male or female, off by themselves, are they sitting in the grass? Are they looking up in the trees, watching the squirrels? What are they doing? Are they relaxing? Are they watching children? Have they cued in on one particular child? So these are the things that I'm looking for in the secondary observation skills. And I'm trying to further identify, is this person or persons an actual threat? If you do feel someone is actually telling you, don't be afraid to change direction, stop.
I would say trust your gut. You'll get a feeling.
Or take a seat at a bench. Typically what you're going to find is that individual, if they're telling you, will bypass you and they'll stop further on down in the park, which is a good indicator that they're actually waiting on you. Wait. Sorry if I scared you, ma'am. I just needed to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. But first, did you hear about the 10,000 servicemen and women that had their personal information sold online through data brokers that included their names, addresses, phone numbers, marital statuses, and even property values? There was even data that included personal medical records, political affiliations, and their religions. Considering that brokers will gladly sell to .asia domains, obviously we're all being targeted, and many of us don't even realize we've already been attacked. That's where Aura comes in. Aura is 100% American-owned and operated, all-in-one digital safety tool that can identify these data brokers exposing your information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your information if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do, so let Aura handle it for you. Aura also does so much more to protect you and your family from online threats you can't even see. Aura also offers credit
I
and
almost want
identity
to do
monitoring,
this. Just I've had a
antivirus,
few
VPN,
little
password
weird
management,
things. But
comprehensive parental controls, and more. You get everything at one affordable price, as well as a peace of mind of knowing that plans include $1 million of identity theft insurance for each adult, all the way up to 5 adults in a family plan.
I just
Go
don't
to
know even
Aura.com
if this would work in
/frogman
Canada.
and get your first 14 days free. It's a product I trust. The link is in the description below. Back to
And
the
I
video.
always let
As you notice, I was actually putting quite a bit of force into the door. I was not
I
concerned
always let
about
people,
Britney's
if they
foot.
have a
What I was concerned about is actually
sponsor, I let
ripping
it
the
play.
door
I don't care.
frame or
I'm not
door off
getting
the
anything
hinges.
out of
This
it,
is
but
classified as
they
an
are.
external door because it leads into a garage, so
It's
it
free
has to be
advertising
reinforced.
for 'em.
But overall, using this method that I'm going to show you, it would require either your feet to break or the door hinges to be ripped off or the door to break itself, okay?
No,
You'll see
like
a lot
this
of people
is
demonstrate doing this, okay? If I create
this is
any type of space here and jam
valuable.
it actually can rip the tendons and break the toes, okay? This is not a good position we want to be in. We want to plant the foot, and all I'm doing is I'm
This is
pushing
something I
at an
didn't even
angle,
think about.
okay? And this creates a wedge. And
Because
even
your
as small
automatic
as Brittany
reaction is
I
just
can
to
most likely
put your foot
break
out.
her foot, but at the end of the day, either she's going to have to move her foot or I'm going to have to rip the door off the hinges to bypass that foot wedge. Something else that this foot wedge will allow you to do
And
is
actually,
to free up
I
your
almost
hands. As
think
you can
you
see,
should.
Brittany was able to get to her gun.
Yeah.
One-handed, two-handed, it doesn't really matter.
See,
We
this
need to
is
train both.
obviously
And she
an
was able to shoot me
American
through the door.
program.
This is a big topic. Can you shoot through doors? Well, under this given circumstance, absolutely. And I'm not going to tell you to do it.
Not in Canada.
With your state laws, but
No,
here in Texas,
no,
she
no,
would
no.
be completely protected
See,
under the
Texas,
state laws.
like
One of the
Texas,
things that
yeah.
I did notice in the video, Brittany did position herself like this, and I did have about 6 to 8 inches here. Even though she was protected here with the foot wedge, I could have very easily reached in, grabbed her wrist, and as small as she is, did a wrist lock or something like that and controlled the whole situation. So on a door that opens this way, I would want to be over here, okay? There's no way they can get their hands in here. Realistically,
You're getting less
even if I
force.
carried a knife and they put their hands in here, the hands are going to get whittled away. Oftentimes when we're training, there's a lot of realistic training that has to be left out for safety reasons. As you can see, the little one is very little. She could be hurt very easily. So Brittany reaches down with 2 hands and picks her up to protect her, just how we would naturally pick up a kid. And then she goes for the door. Okay, that's a waste of a lot of time. If I'm strong enough, I reach down, grab the kid by the shirt, by the hair, by the arm, by the shoulder, while I'm opening the door, throw them in if I need to, whatever the case needs to be. I need to have myself in between the child and this threat. Here's what I tell people. This broken arm, this plug of hair, these bruises, these cuts that may happen under these given circumstances
alive.
are far less of an issue than if this person gets to me and my child. Another option is, what if I don't have, or Brittany doesn't have time to actually get inside this door? A fleeing mindset, we're really not thinking about fighting. But as a person who practices self-defense, we are thinking about fleeing, we're thinking about fighting, we're thinking about all this at once as we're assessing this given situation. There's absolutely no way majority of the people in the world, by the time they turn around and see me coming at them, are going to be able to perform all this, get inside, and even get a foot wedge in, more or less get the door locked. So what do? We are forced to just say, okay, my kid's here. I get into the fight. I either control the situation or I incapacitate the threat. But the truth is, most people, because they haven't trained, you are not going to respond that way. You're absolutely going to freeze.
You're going to
sympathetic
freeze.
responses are going to take over. Your body.
Everyone likes to think they're going to be like out of an action
and
film.
you're just going to freeze up. Okay. So regardless,
80% of the time,
if you
you're
have a
going to
gun on
freeze.
you, and regardless of how you think you're going to respond, if you are not training on a regular basis, and it doesn't have to be every single day, you're living in a false
Even
sense
just
of
like
reality
once a week.
of how things are going to go. We hope you like
And
the video.
even do
Now,
like a
let's get to
family
this
drill.
giveaway. We
So
teamed up with
your
Flex
little
Defense
one,
to bring you the,
you know,
Raider
your little one,
chassis.
if
A
they
lot of
are
people
in that
said no matter what
situation, they
did
know
or when they went to the website, they were always
how to
out.
behave.
Flex
Or,
Defense
you
was
know,
kind enough to
mommy's
send this
got
to
it.
us to give
We'll
away
get.
to one of you. So how do you enter?
That
Very
is so
simple.
damn cool.
Subscribe here on YouTube to Frogman
Nobody in
Tactical.
Canada
Subscribe
is allowed
here
to
on
have that,
YouTube to
but
Bangarang
hey,
Industries. Go to frogmantactical.com.
I don't know
Subscribe
if
to
we
our
can.
newsletter. We will not spam you. Come back to Frogman Tactical YouTube and comment done on this video. The drawing will be done on Sunday the 21st.
Yeah.
In our video, so be sure to
And
pay attention.
basically everywhere in
Good luck.
Canada.
Have a good day and God bless.
Sorry, Grace. I know it looks so sweet. You just kind of want it, but. This is nuts. Okay. It's like, okay, people are really.
Give me my money so I can get the out of here.
So get out and I'll bring you.
No, I want it now.
I'm not giving you anything while you're out. I can assure you.
I'll call the cops on you then. I
need
swear
to calm
God,
down.
You stupid.
Oh, wow.
Damn. Oh.
Just get the fuck out.
Oh, you dropped something. Oh. Slammed the door on him. She taking off. You dropped the blunt.
Oopsie daisy.
Vi driver og vandrer på fjellet. Hatt ingen planer egentlig om å bade eller være vann i det hele tatt. Men så jeg det der. Og det så jo litt fristende ut da, kan man si.
Må i hvert fall sjekke.
Så det må i hvert fall sjekkes ut. Ok, skal vi bare dybdesjekke? Ja. Ok, jeg hadde ikke noe intensjon om bading, men jeg har selvfølgelig med badedrakt. Alltid sjekke om det er nok før det oppe. Det er ikke varmt der.
No, I bet it isn't hot. Aww, that part's so cute. That's amazing. And yes, definitely always check your... Oh God, this is horrible.
From Arizona, Mr. Crane for his questioning.
Oh dear.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing today. Thank you guys for coming. I want to especially thank Dr. Fu and Mr. Freedom for your leadership and courage on this issue. I know it can't be easy to do that. And I hope that Americans that are watching this, I mean, a lot of Americans, Mr. Freedom, look up to you because you were good at basketball, and God blessed you with, height and skill and all that. But I hope Americans watching this really appreciate your courage, because you're one of the few that actually is willing to set aside their own personal career and their ability to gain, resources and fame and all that for something bigger. So thank you for doing that. Now I want to ask you guys some serious questions. Neither of you guys were born here, Dr. Fu or Mr. Freedom, right? You guys weren't born here in America, but you came here to this country, right? Hoping to, maybe have a better life. Is that, would you say that? Thank you. Mr. Freedom, did you ever think that when you came to the United States of America, you'd see Chinese spy balloons flying over the country?
Definitely not.
Did you think that?
No, I think everyone kind of that.
Dr. Fu, did you think
I don't know how you
encountered this
missed
type
them,
of
but
repression.
Well, it's a
from the
Canadian
Chinese
military.
Communist
I'm
Party.
sorry, you
Do
guys.
you think it'd be allowed here in the
you're
United States
trying
of
your
America?
bestest, but you kind of are
Definitely not. It was very
more focused
surreal
on tampons and
when those
bullets.
people showed up West Texas. I remember some of our cowboys are trying to work something out that our church actually encouraged to give them water, to love them instead. But this is very surreal. I think.
I bet.
Yeah.
Mr. Freedom, why do you think it's allowed here? Why do you think we allow Chinese police stations here in the United States of America? Why do you think you see Chinese spy balloons flying over the U.S.? Why do you think individuals like you and Dr.
Or
Fu
Canada?
are oppressed here
I mean,
as American citizens?
The more I
just
research, the more I realize that
walk right in.
you see Hollywood, Wall Street, academias, big tech, Wall Street, many of them
Oh,
pretty
my
much
hand's so gibbled.
is partly controlled by the Chinese
I'll make
government
it.
because
I'll
of
make it through
money.
work.
Money. That's right. That's what it is, isn't it, sir? It's not just the NBA.
That's NBA.
Both of you guys count on the United States government to some extent for your own protection. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Money. Does it bother either of you guys? And you guys are both truth tellers, and you guys have a lot of courage to be here, but I'm going to take it one step further. Does it bother either of you guys that this current administration and the family of this current administration has taken money, millions of dollars from the CCP? Does that bother you, Mr. Freedom? Does it concern you?
Yes, of course.
Dr. Fu, does it concern you?
Of course, it's very concerning. This is just a reflection of how the CCP's effort for years. It's not just for in the past few years, but I just feel it's very concerning to see when a group of dissidents, welcoming the Taiwan president in Manhattan, on the street of Manhattan in New York, and 5 were beaten violently and sent to hospital by the Chinese government hired thugs on our soil, and so far no one is being held accountable.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why?
Dr. Fu, do you think that we have the Hunter Biden laptop, which has all sorts of, very disturbing information,
Yeah.
photographs, text messages, emails on it. Do you think that CCP might have their own copy, their own information on the president's son, Mr. Freedom?
Of course, not only him, but whoever is using TikTok. Yes, they have all their informations. And
Yeah,
150 million people.
That's interesting. Mr. Freedom, are you familiar,
interesting.
aware of the
It
fact that
is
Hunter
very
Biden,
big.
James Biden, Sarah Jones Biden, Haley Biden, Kathleen Buell, Melissa Cohen, Hunter Biden's current wife, 2 children of Joe Biden's sons, Joe Biden's brother's child have all received money that was doled out from that originated from foreign countries?
I know some of it, but I didn't know the whole thing.
Yeah, are either of you familiar with the term elite capture? Elite capture?
No.
That's where a foreign country uses money and other things to influence and often co-opt high-ranking officials. Are you guys familiar with that?
Well, I actually tried to have a meeting with President Biden and also someone from his administration, and I got turned down every time.
Imagine
the
that.
British government put a bounty on my head, actually, and I was like, I'm a U.S. citizen, and a foreign government is doing it in U.S. soil. This is unacceptable, and I would like to talk to my president or someone from the administration. One of the senators,
I think we all would.
Democrats, said this is not going to happen because, unfortunately, the president is scared of Erdogan because Erdogan is a NATO ally, and he doesn't want to piss him off.
Well, the last thing I want to say, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me extra time. Again, thank you guys. What you are doing is monstrously courageous, and we appreciate you guys. And I think it's pathetic that you've come here to the United States and this is what the country has turned into. So thank you guys for doing what you're doing.
Hi.
Good times, good times. Oh boy. That one like creeped me out. Like we got so much stuff going on, and this is like this is actually going to be pillowcases. So like one side's going to be rainbow, one side's going to be like fuzzy. It just trying to plan it out. I wish I had more purple in it though. But it just fit better with the other blankets to have it cut this way, just that way the pattern's more even. And this still looks good. It'll look good. It's pillowcases. It's like, except like I need better scissors because this is horrible. Like, yeah, those puppies weren't cutting straight and I didn't sharpen them. I was just like, oops. I should have, but I didn't. Okay, we'll skip over that one. And this one was cute. Like, this is going to be cute animation. Okay, this is great. I think this is important for...
It is odd, though, isn't it? I just cited 4 examples of men pretending to be women, typically to game the system.
Yeah.
But you know something? This unfantastic foursome are not really and totally committed to team femininity, are they? Which is to say, sure, these goofs will don a wig or put on a dress sourced from Value Village, but what they won't do is actually cut off their beloved wedding tackle. You see, they're just not all that into womanhood. Heck, these dicks won't even don high heel shoes. Even that is too much of an ask when it comes to the discomfort department. They want it both ways. They want to keep their manhood as they pretend to be a member of womanhood. And thanks to the unelected, unaccountable human rights commissions, they're getting away with it. Yep, Christmas is but a distant memory now, but alas and alack, there are still plenty of stale fruitcakes out there
in our great dominion. Now it gets worse. Shockingly, even medical science is catering to the pretend people. My beloved colleague and 100% bona fide woman Sheila Gunn Reid had an amazing scoop last summer when she reported that the Canadian Cancer Society was urging so-called trans women to consult with a doctor for
Just you
cervical
can't make this up.
cancer screenings.
Sorry, I was trying to work on
I
something
completely
before work.
trust Sheila, but I couldn't help think back
Multitasking.
then that
Multitasking.
she'd been pranked. But no, I visited the Canadian Cancer Society's official website, and lo and behold, there it was, a written piece entitled, "As a trans woman, do I need to get screened for cervical cancer?"
No.
Here goes, quote, "If you're a trans woman, you may not have given much thought to Pap tests and cervical cancer, and if you haven't, that makes a
Are
fair
you
amount of
kidding me?
sense. After all, in order to get
Oh my-
cervical cancer,
Oh my
you need
God,
to have a
how
cervix.
dumb are people?
That is the organ that connects the vagina to the uterus.
And
If
and
you're
only
a trans
like
woman and have not had bottom surgery, you aren't at risk for cervical cancer," end quote. Now, the Cancer Society should have quit while they were ahead.
I know.
Oh, but no, a caveat is included. Quote, "If, however, you're a trans woman who has had bottom surgery to create a vagina and possibly a cervix, there's a very small risk that
I
you
don't
can
want to
develop cancer
listen.
in the tissues of your neo-vagina or neo-cervix. The risk depends on the type of surgery you had, the
No,
type of
if you're a
tissue
trans
used to
woman,
create
if
your
you're
vagina and cervix, and your
a
personal
man
health
that
history.
transitioned
Talk to
to
your
a
healthcare
woman, you're
provider
more
to
at
figure
risk
out
for
your
prostate
specific
cancer.
screening needs
Just
as part of your overall
let's
pelvic
be
health
honest,
following surgery.
because you probably
It
still
can be
have that,
difficult to make cancer screening a
unless they
priority,
really had to dig
especially
around in
when
you
there's
to
not a lot of
kinda-
information out there
I
about
don't-
cervical
I don't-
cancer risks
yeah.
for trans
I
women.
don't want to.
You
No.
may also be concerned about things like experiencing transphobia during the screening process. Maybe you feel you have more pressing health concerns, or maybe you just don't want to think about cancer screening. Still, it's important to take care
I
of
think
your
if you're a trans
by
woman,
getting the cancer
like
screening
you're a
you
man
need.
who
Screening
transitioned
means
to a
checking
woman,
for
shouldn't you
cancer
be worried
before
about
there are any
prostate
symptoms.
cancer?
Here's the bottom line. If you're
Just-
a trans woman who's
I-
had bottom surgery, discuss
I
your
don't want to
personal
be
risk
against
for
climate
cancer
change,
in your
but
neo-vagina
these
or
are
neo-cervix
questions
with
I'm
your
curious
healthcare
about
provider, and come up with a plan for cancer screening
a little bit.
that works
You know,
for you, end quote. Hey, you know, folks, I really wish I took home the barf bag from my Winnipeg to Toronto flight, because I think I'm going to hurl. For we have gone from men pretending to have periods to men pretending to have a cervix. And the Cancer Society is catering to these delusions. Don't we have a healthcare system fraying at the seams right now? And why should bearded Bubba take away a spot from bona fide woman Betty? You know, the person that might actually be at risk from cervix cancer. Oh, I forgot. The Cancer Society is concerned about transphobia. In fact, they seem more concerned about the hurt feelings of a mental patient than they are with actual medical science. So it is, they will pretend that the pretend woman has a pretend cervix and go through the motions of pretending to do a pretend cervix examination, just so, you know, nobody gets offended or anything like that. Still, I just had to hear this woke rubbish.
That's
from the
actually
horse's
just
mouth.
like
So I
it
called
seems
the
like
Canadian
something
Cancer
like
Society's toll-free
5
helpline,
years ago, 10 years
pretending to
ago,
be a
it
trans
would
woman.
have seemed
And
like
you're not going to believe your ears.
this is a Monty Python skit.
Yes, hello there. I am a trans woman, and I'm calling about getting a cervix exam scheduled. Can you help me with that? Yes, it's L4C9V2. My name is Davida.
Oh God, this is ruthless.
Dabida.
This is ruthless.
Menezes. Menzizies. No, I use a telephone because I'm a trans woman with a trans woman problem. I need to have my cervix looked at.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna find if so do you have a family doctor already?
No, it's hard finding a trans doctor for my trans concerns.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand. I can see how difficult that might be for you. So what I would suggest is to go to your local walk-in clinic.
This lady is so polite, but it is this ridiculous in Canada.
And they can also refer you to a gynecologist who can also do it at one of their offices.
Oh, thank God for that, because I don't want to get cancer of my cervix.
Yeah, I can understand your concern. So getting a pap smear. There are some guidelines for that. I can let you know the guidelines if you're interested.
I'm sure this caller, like, oh God, I'm sure.
So basically, so screening for cervical cancer. So they would be having a regular pap test. So this would happen by the age of 21, and you'll need a pap test every 1 to 3 years. Okay. All of that is depending on previous.
She doesn't even know, like, she's getting trolled. This is horrible, but awesome. As a woman, it's hilarious.
Thank you. You can't believe the amount of transphobia that is out there.
Yeah, I can see how difficult that might be for you. I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Well, thank you so much for your help. I'll go to the walk-in clinic to get my cervix looked at, and I really appreciate your compassion.
Oh, no problem. If you ever need anything else or any more information, you can always give us a call back, okay?
Oh, God bless you. Thank you.
No problem. You have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Well, isn't that special? Indeed, what happened to that old
He's such a
COVID-19
troll.
chestnut? You remember, follow the science.
Okay, 6.
You
I
know
got
the
4
drill.
hours
Wear
before
masks,
work.
even though
Still good.
masks are useless.
I should
Take
be
that
able to get through
COVID-19
my whole
vaccine
blog.
and all those
I'm
multiple
about
boosters, even though that crap doesn't work either.
like
But
2/3.
never mind. Follow the
2/3.
science. And science is science. A member of Homo
Yeah.
sapiens with the X and Y chromosomes will always be a male, even if he takes estrogen, and even if he has his genitals sliced and diced to look like, what was that called again? Oh yeah, a neo-vagina. Yet, what did we see occur in the medical field earlier this month? Well, veteran Montreal doctor Raymond Briere was suspended for 3 months by Quebec's Medical College after arguing with a transgender patient about the use of pronouns and whether or not the patient was a woman. For the record, the patient is not a woman, he's a man, but whatever. So again, our overstressed healthcare system gets further overstressed thanks to a self-entitled mental patient filing a complaint over hurt feelings. You know what, folks? Why is it that every single doctor in the province of Quebec is not demonstrating against this woke, nonsensical shakedown? Is it too controversial? Or do these MDs actually subscribe to radical trans ideology? If that's the case, then they should kindly resign, for they are a disgrace to the medical profession.
Wow, eh? Can't make this shit up. I wish I could, because, like, it's so weird. And, oh yeah. Let's see.
Do you think Canada should stop economic engagement with China right now?
I'm not saying that, Evan. There's a lot of opportunities to have mutually beneficial trade, but what Justin Trudeau has done since the early days of this crisis is precisely nothing. So if the government in China realizes that they can illegally detain 2 Canadian citizens, they can put blocks on our exports and nothing happens. There's no cost to them to treat Canada this way, batting Justin Trudeau around like a cat bats a ball of yarn around. If there's no consequences, why would we think that they would stop doing that just because Justin Trudeau asks nicely the 15th time? No, of course not. And so what I'm saying is we have to stand up for ourselves. We have to send a message around the world that when you illegally detain Canadian citizens, the relationship is not going to continue as normal, and there will be a cost on the other side of that. And right now, Justin Trudeau has done precisely nothing.
Yeah, that's like awful, eh? And this is sad. Montana parents say they lost custody of their daughter after opposing 14-year-old's gender transition. Like, that's sad. Oh, and once again, here we go.
JLR investigates here. JLR investigates.
More of the board.
I am in Eagle Pass, Texas.
This is crazy. This
I
is
am
crazy
in Eagle
to
Pass,
see.
Texas, and this is a hot spot where people are crossing into the United States illegally on the U.S.-Mexican border. You see all that razor wire all over the place. You see National Guard there, Rio Grande River there, and you also see Border Patrol down there. Now let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. So I'm out here, right? And this is off of the 480 loop, right? It's 480. This is just south of Eagle Pass. It's a hot spot because Eagle Pass, right up to the north, a few miles, they got the entire Shelby Park under National Guard control, Texas. The migrants that were normally going through there are now finding new ways to come into the United States. And here is a hot spot. What I just showed you. It's on top of the hill here. I made a report here before. Over here is clothing, right? Migrant clothing. They even got a dumpster here. They even have a...
Like, this is huge. Like, this is so... I saw this in Europe, during their wave of migrants, and now it's on our shores. And Texas is, you guys are... I gotta love my American neighbors. You guys are holding it down, but it's already too late for Canada. China, we have Chinese police stations. Like, ship that fentanyl
Department of Homeland
in
Security light to process the people that are coming in illegally. Over here, clothes. Look at all those clothes. Migrant clothes and trash. All over the place. All over the place here. I want to show you right down there. I want to show you a bridge, an escape route. If any migrant, illegal person, whatever you want to call the people that are coming across, they could slip through the cracks, folks. And they could go right under there, the bridge right over there, go under, and then just disappear into the terrain. I'm going to take you down there because there's evidence that people are doing that. Look at all this trash.
Like, this shouldn't be happening.
Look at all this trash. And clothing. Migrant clothing. People's clothing. These are accumulation of clothing from people that are caught or turn themselves in to Border Patrol. Right down the dirt road there, 480. And here comes a National Guard truck coming through. National Guard. See him, he has camouflage on. But we're going to take you down here to this bridge. Because this bridge that I'm going to take you down is a prime spot where if anyone is able to slip through the perimeter here, and we can't say for sure that it's secure, they might not be down here around the clock. They're down there now. And also, I just want to show you, look at the amount of clothes that's all across the fencing there. But that fencing was not always there. People would cross, and then they would walk down and go under this bridge that is over here. And I'm going to take you over to the bridge. It's very important we see this bridge, folks. More trash. But we're going to go over to this bridge. But there's evidence people come through the bridge. Who would want to go through the bridge and not be detected up here on the road? Well, there's a term, gotaways. Gotaways. And these are gotaways that are coming in to the United States that don't want to be processed and don't want to be caught, and they want to slip through the cracks. Numerous reasons for that. They've been deported before. They keep coming back and forth, back and forth. They're coming in, smuggling, whatever. Some might even just want to get a job, but they don't want to go through the process.
they don't want to go through the legal process.
Maybe they gotaways feel they can come in this country, but they feel if they get caught, they'll go instantly back, so they try to escape. But it's the bridge. We're going to go over to this bridge over here. Heavy traffic out here. Maybe they go under the bridge here because they don't want to be seen by vehicles, because it's a heavily traveled road here. Tractor trailers, they come through. On this bridge here, to this bridge, you can clearly see a path. And we're going to show you. This path here shows clear evidence, most likely, that
like this is nuts, and this is
people are
stuff
coming through.
most Canadians would
One
not
case in
see.
point, look right here. Unless this was placed, look what this is, folks. And this is one of those blankets that the migrants use to keep warm. It's very, very light. And it's just laying there. I saw that before. But here's a trail. And you see a lot of things here. Like I see empty pill bottles. And usually the migrants come across with their medications and discard them. But they walk through. They walk through. Now let's walk a minute.
You can pretty much just walk through.
And you can go. There's dog prints or footprints. But look at this. Right down here will take you right to the Rio Grande River. And you keep going that way, it'll take you right there. That even looks like a, what is that? Is that a suitcase?
Oh, no.
Is that a suitcase? Might be. Let's go investigate. JOR investigates. Maybe it's not. Look at this. It's a clear, and look, there's footprints. There's footprints out here.
Oh, did I get a strike?
I don't know why anyone else would just be walking around here and
Good
saying,
times.
hey,
Yay, good
we're
times.
just going to walk around. I don't know what this is. Well, can't say a migrant brought a dishwasher with them, right? Whirlpool, washer and dryer. Let's keep walking. Look at this. So there's the river right over there.
I need one of those, just not that one.
And you can slip through 480 undetected because they don't want to be seen, folks. You don't want to be seen. And to clear paths. How many people, water jug, how many people have utilized this path and crossed into the United States illegally? And
You don't even want to know.
Or is water bottles. Look, shoe. There's a shoe. There's a shoe. I don't think people are just coming around here saying, hey, I'm going to go on a nature walk down by the Rio Grande in the middle of nowhere and just walk down here. I think there's something more nefarious.
I think so as well.
It takes you deeper and deeper into
And
the
every
state
country
of
has the right to
Texas.
defend
And
their
eventually,
border. Put in the
people can
razor
just
wire.
slip away. People can just slip away. Now let's analyze this a little bit more. So I see stuff back here. What do we got?
Like, he's on the American side, and he can basically just walk to the Mexican side, no problem, willy-nilly. Or swim. But, you know.
Look, a little kid shoe. Look at that, a little kid shoe. Look at all this. Might have been a camp.
It might have been a
Not
camp.
only that, but they wait. They sit down here, wait for a ride to get picked up, and then they just go on top of the bridge.
Because, yeah, this looks more like a camp than just people wandering through.
Or is this just nothing of nothing? Just a regular dumping site?
It could
I
just
don't
be
know.
a dumping site
I
as
see
well.
a lot of old shoes.
But it's
And a lot of
like,
times,
there's a lot of shoe,
people
like,
discard.
there is, like, yeah, the obvious redneck garbage, but, you know, some of this
Water bottles, beer bottles.
this,
Got a TV. I'm assuming
this
that's
could have been a
junk.
camp.
Look at all this, folks.
This looks more like they were camping. Holy
Migrant
crap.
camp, possibly. Shampoo bottle. A lot of times they
Yeah.
bring cosmetics.
This is more like a camp.
Or is this
Like just-
unrelated? That's the question. I am out in the field.
Nobody would dump this amount of recyclables if they
border
couldn't
migrant-
carry them. Like, people just don't do
People
that
have been
anymore.
crossing into this country
They're worth money.
illegally for years.
Bottles are worth money.
Usually NGOs or different organizations on that other side assist them and told them exactly where to go and how to do it. And it's safe to say that this area here is a prime hotspot. Safe to say. Sub to the channel, like, hit the notification button. JLR, boots on the ground. We will talk soon. Check out my playlist. Been covering the border extensively. Stay tuned.
Keep up the good work, because, like, it's getting buried in the press. Oh. And deporting the mob of migrants who pounded on cops in caught-on-camera attack near Times Square. Well, this should have been, like, kind of obvious, you know, this should have been obvious. And this one, I like the Scottish Times. They really like these protests. Good boy. Good boy. Fuck around and find out. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Like. Well done, gentlemen. Well done. Sorry for the delay. I don't know what's buffering on what side. So, and once again, Scottish Chimes. Beautiful. Just drag them off. Yeah.
This could be taken as a tangible sign of anxiety, malaise, unease in his ranks, and that certainly will be a theme or to be a fly on the wall as they gather today.
You know what it is? It's 6:30 a.m. It's very, very early. I'll be back after work for more clips, probably around like 8 or 9 p.m., maybe 7. No, probably 8 or 9. And I keep going. Like, I'm probably not even that far down on my blog. You can, if you want to jump ahead and see the articles, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to go to bed. It was wonderful for everyone joining me, and I really appreciate everything. Like, also, I kind of like wanted a moment to see if I could get some artwork done before. I don't need a lot of sleep, just a little nap before work. I'll be okay. They know I can't do any heavy lifting, so I'll be okay. Love you all. This is fun. I like this.